Happy election night. Hey, everybody.
It's not Tuesday morning.
Oh, Vera
Tuesday
doesn't
night.
have headphones on. What's up?
I do not.
We don't have headphones?
I'll get up to that.
Headphoneless
Uh-oh.
for that
She's
guest.
She's going naked.
Yeah.
You can hear us, though. That's a good thing.
Vera's not naked. Welcome to, the first evening Lock Pod.
Hey, John, I don't hear a microphone, though.
What?
All right, well.
Vera,
You don't
talk.
Hello, and good evening, and welcome to...
No mic. No mic
Vera.
for Vera.
Vera,
Well-
you got to talk into that thing, Vera.
Well, I'm about
Oh,
to...
now
There you go.
you
There you go.
got it. Boy, what a great,
You like teaching.
great start to the
Vera.
Woo!
Are you new, John?
Vera.
What's
Don't you-
going on?
The
I
good news
knew.
is we're going to announce your president tonight.
Excellent.
The bad news is that was Tom's intro to our podcast. I can't hear Vera.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Left of Center.
Vera, get that mic close to you, okay?
Okay, I
Pull it.
don't think I get any...
Why don't
closer.
we introduce what we got going tonight?
Yeah, we
John,
got
Tom.
great guests today. We got Vera Mileusnic, formerly of WJLB. Her and I actually started off my radio career doing a show with Vera Mileusnic.
We did.
We got the great Kevin Pastrick, drove in from Porter County to help us out. How's
This
it going,
is
Kevin?
special. One of the best political minds in Northwest
yeah.
Indiana, without a doubt.
How's it going, Kev?
I'm great. Thank you for the invite. This is wonderful.
You're looking good, man.
Thank you. I'm
Star-
feeling
the
good.
star- of
And
Steel
Zoe's
Town.
tan.
He's always.
Do you ever hear that? The Star of Steel Town. King of Steel
God,
Town.
That was a million years ago.
Dude,
We were trying to remember what election was that. Was that 95, 99, 91?
That was
95,
99.
right?
99 election. Okay.
I watched that because I taught a class at Purdue in local politics, and every semester I watched that. So I bet you I watched it 10 times. It was great.
King of Steel Town.
I actually, because I knew Kevin from back when I was younger, so I was always like, yeah, I know that guy.
Is it online? Can you find it?
You
I
can
imagine.
find it on YouTube still. You know, it was really interesting because my father was torn on that movie. And when they came up to him and wanted to do it, it had everything to do with retail politics. And he was very hesitant because it was very easy to criticize such a thing because, you know, an election in Northwest Indiana, let alone East Chicago during those days were...
So that's like term number 7?
yeah, I think it was 8.
7 or 8?
It was 8.
I've never done a radio show with a mask on until today, and I.
It's because we've never had 4 people in the studio before.
Yeah.
This is exciting. These are exciting times.
I trust you guys and all, but I'm wearing a mask today.
Joe doesn't have a mask on.
I
Joe,
Joe needs a
we
mask.
have to put a mask on
Yeah.
Joe. You're right.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
by the way, I want to start off the show and congratulate one of our very own on a life change that she's experiencing. My daughter,
Oh, God.
her fiance called me up on Friday and said
He wasn't
"Mr.
your fiance then, yeah.
Oh, no. He was Lindsey's longtime boyfriend. Called me up on Thursday and said, can I meet with you and Marissa at your house on Friday? And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, of course I knew. I was like, he was very old-fashioned about it. It was nice. He came over and asked us. He said he's going to propose to Lindsey on Halloween.
Well, you want to hear the funny part of that story?
Yeah.
He told Marissa like a couple days beforehand, but because Dad can't keep a secret,
Good,
he waited until the day
good call.
before.
Good call by Brian.
He's a smart kid.
know-
I kept
he-
a secret.
He knows his in-laws.
Definitely. So he waited until the last moment to tell Dad or to ask. So, yeah.
Well, wait, did your
Yeah.
dad let it slip to you?
No.
No, he did. Brian told me.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't do something like that. Not like a
Congrats,
major
Lynn.
life event.
Well, okay, so.
But if I
so
buy you a Christmas present, I'll give it to you on the 22nd.
Dad and
This is true.
Marissa.
Yeah, every year.
Every year, Dad gives us our Christmas gifts like a week early because he's just so excited.
can't
about
Because
it.
stand
they're
it.
great gifts.
He's
Why
so
would you want him
excited
sitting
about the
around?
great gifts. But anyway, so like my boyfriend fiance proposed to me right before we showed up to Dad's house for trick or treating, which we rocked it, by the way. Very spooky. And Dad and Marissa both knew it was going to happen before I got there. So I walked in and they're just kind of like very awkwardly standing there,
Yeah.
like, waiting for
Excited?
me to tell them. And
Well,
I
no, we
knew
didn't-
that they knew it happened already, so I wasn't sure if I had to tell them.
Well, that
So
was it was an awkward door answer.
awkward silence
Hello.
where everyone was there.
Happy
at once.
Halloween.
What are you supposed to say? Because you're like, Brian was supposed to propose to her by then. Like, if he, like,
You didn't
chickened
want
out,
Yeah, right.
Oh.
they opened the door, I'm like, hey, congratulations, Lindsey! And she's like, what the hell are you
Excuse
talking
me,
about?
what?
You
Right?
can't do that.
Oh, you had the
Yeah.
wrong timeline.
So,
Yeah,
so
He didn't want to ruin it, which I appreciate, but it was a very awkward. Like,
Well, like, when
I
Lindsey-
opened the door and like everyone's standing there.
I know, we're all
Chase
like,
made me wait
"Hey."
to like before I could come
But
in.
what if she shot him down? It would be really awkward, right? We're like,
Yeah,
hey, congratulations,
that would've been a
Brian. He's
tough
like,
one.
well, she shot me down, you know.
I would
like-
never do that.
Well,
to Brian.
congratulations.
I know,
Lindsey.
but we couldn't assume these
That's
things. We had
exciting.
to, like, make it official.
Good job, Linz. You're
Yeah.
you're the first person on our show to be engaged.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, you guys are all married, so
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope
I'm the
we're not
last
getting
one to
engaged.
get engaged, technically.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So anyway,
All right, well, listen, we got a lot of stuff to do here on election night.
I appreciate our guests being here, by the way. We have a lot of great guests coming through. Obviously, we're starting with Kevin Pastrick and Vera, and like two knowledgeable people about politics. We also got guest appearances coming today from Jerry Davich. I'm sorry, I always pronounce it wrong. Councilman William Godwin from Gary. Gosh, help me out.
Matt Reardon.
Matt Reardon, by the way,
The
who's always on
illustrious
election.
Matt Reardon.
Of course, the Matt Reardon showing up. We have so many just amazing guests tonight. Michelle Feynman's going to be calling in. I know Dave Warple's making a swing by. I know Alfredo Estrada is making a swing by. So we have really a lot of people that we're going to get in and out of the studio. We're trying to keep it interesting for you. And I promise you, the team that we've thrown together is going to get quick results and get it out to you as fast as we
Yeah, and one of
possibly
the other
can.
things we're going to be doing, and we should be getting some early vote results from Lake County really soon, is we want to keep you up to speed on national news as well. I'm getting some really good information on current exit polls throughout the country. These are coming straight from D.C. Georgia, 50-48 Biden. North Carolina, 49-48 Biden. Ohio, 47-52 Trump. Florida's tied at 49.
What was it in Ohio?
52-47 Trump.
Wow.
Pennsylvania, 52-46 Biden. Arizona, 51-45 Biden. Michigan, 54-45 Biden. Minnesota, 54-44 Biden. Texas, 50-48 Trump. Wisconsin, 54-44 Biden. Iowa's tied, and Nevada's 50-44 Biden. There you go.
But
exit
now
polls.
I want you to do our watchers a favor.
Yeah.
Explain that exit poll.
Yeah, so this is important, right? And exit polls, this is another thing we learned about exit polls. And this, I think, has something to do with where if you're a Trump voter or a Biden voter, all you heard about, right, Kev, was that the mail-in ballot's going to be all D, right? And
Yes.
the Republicans are going to come out and vote at the polls.
Correct.
But what we found out about the exit polls today was the number one and number two issues were, and this is in this order, coronavirus and racial inequality,
That's
followed
correct.
by the economy. So
Correct.
if you're a Republican and you want Trump to win, those aren't the issues you want leading the exit polls, because that's where the Republicans said that's where our votes are going to be from.
Correct.
On election day.
But also, what I wanted everybody to understand is exit polls are people that are actually voting in person today.
Yep.
So when we see these polls being done on national TV, those are the phone calls, and those are the people that are going door to door and asking, just the normal Joe, how they're going to vote. But what you just read off are people that are actually coming out of the booth that would basically tell, some people don't, but these people were obviously telling people how they were voting. It's a big issue.
It's a real big issue. If they're willing to talk.
That's correct, because today was the day when Donald Trump said all his supporters were coming out, that they wait to vote. They wanted to vote in person. So
Yep.
this is just an early indication. There's all kinds of stuff going on. The Sun Belt is looking this could be a bloodbath, guys. I'm not kidding you.
If we're going to know early, because I think I heard that Arizona, Florida, and Wisconsin numbers should come in pretty early, and if those come back for Biden, I think that's going to tell. I haven't seen one projection that shows Trump able to win if he loses Florida. I mean, theoretically, he could if he pulls all the other states.
Well, he'd have to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you would. Well, and Ohio, and Michigan, and Wisconsin, and Iowa.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But with the blue wall, I mean, it doesn't matter. He could win all the states as long as Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin hold. And then the other states that Hillary won 4 years ago, then it's over. 278. But I think that Joe's looking in the high threes tonight.
Why don't we hit our sponsors real quick?
Yeah,
there,
sure.
And then we'll come back and
Let's
we'll
go
keep
ahead and
going.
start.
By that time, we should get some early numbers.
I want to let everybody know. Lindsey, could you go ahead and do your part about, it's really important. We have a big audience right now. I want to remind you, we do this twice a week, and you can subscribe to our show. It's absolutely free of charge, and, I think it's a pretty entertaining show. So, Lindsey, could you go ahead?
Let me do my spiel. That's my line. All right, you're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while trying to have way too much fun while doing it. And if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LOCPOD, LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from the Apple Podcast and Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 337 kilohertz per second. Just search Left of Center and look for our red and blue logo. If you would like to sponsor an episode, have us talk about your business, your candidate, or whatever you want, feel free to email us at leftofcenterpod@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to get that started for you.
Thanks, Linz.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Okay, thank you to our sponsors for helping make tonight's show a reality. Pinnacle Concrete. It's time to start thinking and planning your 2021 spring projects. If your project has anything to do with concrete, Pinnacle has you covered. Don't wait because the spring schedule is already booking up. Call Rigo Sr. at 219-805-7572 or Rigo Jr. at 219-407-4567 to schedule your free quote. We are fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Check out our Facebook page at Pinnacle Concrete.
Shoop's Hamburgers, fresh, never frozen, handcrafted, and cooked to crispy perfection. A Shoop's Hamburger spills out of the bun. Throw in an order of fries, a shake, and a bowl of homemade soup or
spills
chili.
out of the bun.
It's
It's
true.
like, you should read it sexy, man.
How do you want me to read it?
Fresh. I got this one. Fresh, never frozen, handcrafted and cooked to
I mean, that's not
crispy
exactly doing it
perfection.
for me, but
Shoop's Hamburger spills out of the bun. You know, you gotta.
read that.
you're,
All right,
so,
yeah,
all right,
let Vera
read it.
do it. Yeah, let Vera.
This
This will be way better.
This goes back to her 900 day, or
All right, let's
one
go. Let me
900
hear.
days.
Let me hear what you got, Vera.
Does anybody knows what the 1-900 days
I
are?
want
No, there
to.
you go.
I'm gonna go be alone. I'll be right back.
Fresh, never frozen,
Oh, see, it's
handcrafted
already better.
and cooked to crispy perfection.
Ow.
A Shoop's Hamburger spills out of the bun. Throw in an order of fries, a shake,
Better record
and a
this.
bowl of homemade soup or chili, and it's no wonder that the Calumet region folks have been coming to Shoop's for generations. Located at 7235 Indianapolis Boulevard, just north of 8094. Come visit us or carry
Oh
out
my God.
at 219-845.
People are calling right now.
7090.
Give that again. Say 845-70. 1-900-845.
I'm hungry, man.
It's like Barry White music in the background.
That's it, man. Get that playing.
Spills out of the
A lot of years
bun
on the radio doing that. Okay.
and a pickle on the
There you
side.
go.
That's it. The Kyle Dempsey State Farm.
Do this one sexy too.
Kyle Dempsey State Farm Insurance Agency. Kyle Dempsey has 2 State Farm offices, one in Hammond, right next to the House of Pizza, and the other in Cherville. His offices specialize in auto, home life, and business insurance. Kyle can be reached at 219-845-1571 or at Kyle Dempsey. That's DEMPSEY.com.
You guys, this guy, I don't know, Kevin, if you know Paul Goddard from Region News Source.
Okay.
I'm riffing on this guy because he's like a one-man media empire in the region. He has like a ridiculous amount. I'm riffing on this. I'm not even reading the commercial. This guy's everywhere. He's like a one-man. He's starting to hire people, shows up, and like he'll go live on a scene. He'll have hundreds of people, thousands of people watching these videos.
Yes.
Crazy. This is like new media right here.
Yes, it's the new way.
It is.
Yes.
I don't know how much. I don't know. This guy, I don't think he even makes money doing it. He just goes out there and works his ass off. And he has like a side job. I know he works in like a mill or something.
Well, give him the telephone number.
Yeah, I will. It's that was a good commercial, right?
It
We
was a
should've
great
Yeah.
commercial.
Region News Source is the area's leading breaking news source for information on police and fire activity. Region News Source strives to have the most accurate information in a timely manner without the twisted headlines and agendas. Just facts when you want them. Find us on Facebook under the name Region News Source. It's a friend of the show. This guy is everywhere. There's a fire in Hammond. I go there. I think I'm being a good mayor. Paul Goddard's already there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I go live. I think I got a big audience. I'm like, hey, look at this, 200 people. He goes live, thousands. Like, he's got that many people on.
I just want to break in real quick and report that both the AP and the Indy Star are reporting that Eric Holcomb has run re-election as Indiana's governor.
Damn, that took longer than
So-
I thought.
So can I tell you something? Today, when I was voting, I don't know if anybody else saw this, but there was a little movement in Indiana. The evangelicals were pushing this rainwater
Rainwater,
libertarian.
Oh, yeah, that was a big thing.
And they were all out there when I was standing in line to vote, and they were all out there and with rainwater. And I was like, I don't know much about this person, but they were really, really being vocal and
I had
telling people.
Yeah, I had one of these. I was tracking that one. Kevin, where'd you get that? Indy Star?
AP and Indy Star, yep, NBC News, all reporting that Eric Holcomb has been reelected as Indiana's
I mean,
governor.
seriously, that's pretty damn quick. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so
They
I mean, you
got-
got to remember, the polls throughout the state have been closed everywhere but
14%
everywhere
of the
but,
vote counted and they're already calling it.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, just because they know what the
Look at
trends
that.
are.
Yeah, he's up on Woody. With 14% of the vote, he's already up 150,000 votes, 63 to 25. Rainwater, almost 12%, which is, for a third-party candidate,
That's pretty good.
it's pretty impressive so far.
Pretty
And
good.
that's initially, by the way. That's 46,000 votes with 14% of the vote. So the guy's going to pull a couple votes in.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, we should probably finish. We got a couple more sponsors left, and we'll get to those in a second. But one of the things I wanted to mention, it's important to understand this, that the Lake County vote is always is Central Time, right? So we get done at 6 o'clock. That polls just closed up here, and the number of votes up here, even though they're big, sometimes doesn't matter because of what happened throughout the rest of the state. But I would mention to you that ad, about 4:30 tonight, Lake County surpassed its all-time vote total. It was at 216,000 at 4:30.
That's amazing.
The biggest vote total ever was in 2008 with Obama's first term, and that was 208,000. Already over it. So that says something about at least the vote total in Lake County. We'll see what happens with the other races. But if Erica Holcomb's leading the ticket, it's always tough to win a down ballot race if the top of the ticket wins.
You know, I've been complaining for years on the radio. I've been complaining. I would love to get rid of, one button party. Let's just vote for one party. I think that even in the state with the election board, they always talk about, we want educated voters. If you want educated voters, make them go through the entire ballot. Vera, I get tired. I see somebody going there, they push one button, they don't know anything about any of the candidates, right?
Well,
None.
I can tell you a story. Back in 2012, I went to vote at my polling place on Election Day, 7 o'clock in the morning. I walked in, and the clerk was walking me back to the booth, and she said, do you want to vote for just the president, or do you want to vote for the whole ticket?
You can do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand her question. I said, what do you mean? She goes, oh, honey, that ballot's 6 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
You could just vote for the president. And I said, I'd like to see all of my Democrats.
Right.
And did that, went outside, 7 o'clock in the morning, called the attorney to the election board, and he said I was his third phone call that morning at 7 a.m.
Wow.
So, I think it's a little bit frustrating that people
What's up, Matt Reardon?
don't realize,
Nice.
Matt's in town.
Hey, by the way, I just see Todd Rokita tests positive for coronavirus
Yes.
today.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Wow.
came out this afternoon.
Terrible news.
That's so mean.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely probably one of the weakened, in a weakened state,
With those Holcomb numbers, they didn't do anything with the Attorney General numbers
I
yet?
didn't see anything yet.
I haven't
trying
heard
to look
anything on
around.
Attorney General, no.
Let me hunt around.
You
Have
know,
you heard anything on Attorney General, Matt?
Anecdotally, right, we have to watch I think we need to watch the Indiana numbers just to see what the margin is, because we know that Trump took Indiana by 17, 18 points in 2016. If that's down to 10 or in the single digits, and that is a trend nationwide, that's not going to be good for the president either. So, and I don't know, John, have we heard anything about Florida yet? What do we got up in Florida here? It's Biden leading now, but not much of the vote in.
Yeah, right now 51% Biden, 48% Trump. That's
With how much of the vote in?
AP. 48%.
48% of the vote in. And
Hey,
it's
Matt.
51-48
Why don't you come
Biden.
here? Let me jump out a little. I'll be right back, everybody. This is the nice thing about tonight. We can jump in and out of the studio. So
Go get a sandwich.
I'm going to go do some research.
All right, real quick, our other sponsors, Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, specializes in a wide variety of insurance products and services. Currently, they serve the insurance needs of over 1,000 individuals, families, and businesses throughout Chicagoland. Call for more info at 219-844-0103. You can read that one.
Okay, I sure can.
Yes, you may. Matt Reardon in the house.
Bob's Plastering and Painting for all your interior painting and plastering needs. Bob's Plastering and Painting is a locally owned business that is ready to serve you. Bob is licensed, bonded, and insured. Check out their before and after photos at bobsplasteringandpainting.com.
And we got Matt Reardon in the house.
She's just
wiping her mouth out now.
Which is,
You please,
wipe it
yeah.
out, lick it
Yeah.
out, whatever you need to
You
do.
can leave those
Hey,
words at
Lynn,
the door.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not tonight.
what do you say? Welcome back to Left to Center.
Nice
Yeah, it's
to
good
see
to be
you.
Last time
back.
you were in here, you broke the cuss counter record of all
I did.
time.
I had a lot of pent up.
It's like your day to
Really?
get it out.
Are you better today?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I had a lot of 12 years of doing radio.
Right.
I
What-
think that's how the mayor
what-
was too. He's like a kid in the candy store. I
was
can
like,
swear on,
wait, can I say fuck?
Oh boy, here we go.
and the
I mean,
answer was
right.
yes.
Wow, I can.
You're like, man, this is great. It's just like being at home.
Exactly. You're yelling at my kids. God.
And since we're sitting here, for
Ever.
like 12 years, Matt and Dave Kuziak and I have been on WJOB doing their show. And
Absolutely.
today, David had a procedure done
Yeah.
in Cleveland. Have you had any information?
Nothing
on,
yet.
We got a couple of actually some messages on our message board asking how the Coos was doing. Is
Right.
he haven't
So
heard
as soon
anything?
as I find out anything, I'll be sure to pass it on.
Yeah, obviously our best wishes are with
For sure.
Lisa
100%.
and Dave, and we know he's going to get through it. He's got a heart procedure in Cleveland Clinic today.
Yeah,
so
he's in
best
good
goes out to
hands.
him.
He's in good hands, but we just
We're in good hands because we got you guys
Yeah.
So, Mr. Reardon, what's the story of the day? What do you think's going on?
So the story is, from my sources in Washington, tell me that the strategy for Trump is to start litigating immediately. And that already started in a lesser district in Pennsylvania where you had it was not even a nothing race, where the Republican challenger had no chance. And they're trying to litigate.
Like a test litigation?
Immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, they started counting too soon, or they shouldn't have contacted voters to perfect the ballots and stuff like that.
I found it absolutely ridiculous that last night our president said, I can't believe they're going to count votes after Election Day. They shouldn't be able to do that. There are several states where by law you can have your ballot postmarked by Election Day, and it can arrive as late as the 12th or 13th. This is not like this year. This is a law that's been on the books for a long time. And he's going to say you shouldn't count ballots after Election night.
Well, I wish he'd just say you shouldn't count the ballots unless I know they're for fucking me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
You know,
Isn't
so
is he
that
saying
you know, the other thing I heard regarding the strategy was, you know, today was the day for Trump people to vote and get out in droves and drive their trucks and whatever. And I'm thinking to myself,
Run buses off the highway. And
isn't it better to have votes in the bank than to, you know, count
100%.
on Election Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it seems like a odd strategy. But anyway, I had a guy over helping me at the house more directly. Actually, he was doing the work. I was just watching. All right, I'm being
Supervising.
honest. Supervising, as they say. And he said, "Who do you think's going to win?" And I said, "I think Donald Trump's going to win." And he says, "You're kidding me." He goes, "I do too." And he talked about what he thought about Joe Biden, and I told him I couldn't disagree more with his assessment of Joe Biden. I said Trump's opportunity to win has to comes as a result of the incumbency, period. And I don't think, I mean, my assessment is, you know, I'm not quite sure what platform he had running other than just Donald Trump talking about shit he wanted to talk about in large groups of people.
Yes.
And, you know, lock him up and lock her up and Sleepy Joe and hey, you know, and Hunter Biden and what about those hard drives and all this shit. You know, listen, you would think if you come in there with a platform that says, look, I'm still concerned about our national borders and our security. I've done the best I can with regard to the economy. You know, while not everybody's involved in the stock market, some of you are. You know, this has had a positive impact on your 401ks and all of that. And instead, he goes for the like it's a game show. Hey, we're gonna get everybody fired up, and it's like wannabe rock star. You know, wannabe I don't know what, but you know, for somebody who values thoughtful process and has an understanding of long-term effects and short-term gains, you know, that guy's run his presidency based on, you know, one deal after the other. You know, the deal of I'm going to roll the dice on, I'm just going to use COVID. I'm going to roll the dice. Maybe we get a vaccine. Maybe we don't. I'm going to take a gamble and say we do. Well, we didn't. So you have all these states that are sick. You have all these people in the states, rather, that are sick. You have states that are being overwhelmed. And, you know, you look at his leadership from the outset, which is, I don't want to have to fucking decide what 50 states are going to do. Well, that's the job, you know?
Well, he runs his presidency. Reminds me of the way he ran The Apprentice. He sat at the table, gave instruction, didn't like what you did.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Right, and just bring in the new troops and just keep rolling with that until.
You know, I want to break in. Sorry, Vera. I just got some numbers from South Hammond, and this is important for a local race for Mike Andrade. And this, by the way, is a couple precincts that are traditionally pretty Republican. Andrade is winning this is at the polls, so 4 machines worth, 2 precincts in Hammond. I believe it's 4-9 and 4-12. Andrade 189. Wishlinski 132, 189, 132. Those are at the polls. Also some Hammond School Board races. And this, again, are 2 precincts, 4-9 and 4-12. South Hammond got these from the precinct committeeman. Bill Luter, 76. Lisa Miller, 176. Cindy Murphy, 99. And Wilma Reed, 53. Those are from 2 precincts in Hammond. Those are South Hammond precincts. So important. That's an important race. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Munster and with Highland and part of Griffith on that Mike Andrade race. We're still waiting, by the way, for results from Crown Point. And as soon as we get those in, we'll get them to you. Actually, just got the first run totals. Why don't you I'm going to look at these for a while, guys, and I'll get them out to you right away.
So anyway, part of what we, when we were talking about election night coverage, we seldom got into national elections. I mean, outside of the time that Tom and Rudy were talking on CNN, and David and I think we're still in the studio. Rudy, the numbers are in the machine.
It's a computer.
It's a computer. The numbers are in there. We really didn't get into much of that, but looking up and down the ballot here, I think essentially you have a handful. You have the school board races, then you have 3 contested state rep races around here. And that's really all our action.
You want to hear these?
Yeah,
this is
let it
interesting.
roll.
All right, so here we go. This is our early votes. And just so everybody knows, early votes, we're talking about 116,000 votes.
Okay, in Lake County.
In Lake County only.
So what's that, 25% of the vote?
It's
no.
30. It's probably going to be about, I'm going to say, this is 18,676 paper absentees and 98,000 walk-in early votes. Okay, so 116,000 votes. When I left Crown Point, we were up to 216,000. So this is less.
Early vote. Wow.
Yeah, there was total votes of 216,000 when I left. So this is 116,000 of those 216.
So it's 52%.
More than that. It's you're right. It's probably like 55%.
Okay.
All right, so Mike Andrade, here we go. Mike Andrade, 10,580. Tom Wishlinski, 6,268.
Wow. So
that's 62-37.
It's over.
Mike Andrade, 62-37. Chris Chung, 9,449. Hal Slager, 9,058.
Wow.
51-48 in that. 51-49.
Okay. Chris Chung is 9,900.
9,449 to 9,058.
400 votes.
That's a tight one.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Beck and Julie Olthoff. This is Lake County only. Don't forget, there's Porter County in that district.
Right.
And
yes.
that's an important part. Hebron.
Yes.
And this is just the Lake County vote. Lisa Beck, 11,191. Julie Olthoff, 9,718. 11,191 to 9718. Some other interesting races, if you're looking for president in Lake County so far, Biden 61%, Trump 37%. And this is then it drops off here. Look at this. Myers-Lawson for governor, 55% to Holcomb, 40%. So there you can see that people are splitting their vote.
Yep.
They're voting for Biden, and they're coming back and probably voting for Holcomb a little bit.
Yep.
Jonathan Winesapple, 61%. Todd Rokita, 40%. So 60-40. Jonathan's got 67,000 votes. Todd Rokita, 44,000. So he's got a 23,000 vote lead coming out of Lake County. Probably not as much as you'd like. I don't know if it's enough coming out of Lake County. But the good thing that Jonathan might have is he's got Evansville, where he's going to do well.
Right.
And we don't know those numbers.
And you have Indianapolis.
And you got Indianapolis. So, but that Andrade number
is impressive.
Yes.
I mean,
that's I don't know how Wishlinski makes that up.
how do you overcome 4,000 votes?
You don't. I don't think you do.
I mean,
not unless you.
Unless you get 100% of Griffith. I don't think that's going to happen.
But even that's not enough.
This is no machine vote.
So we don't know what happened. Again, you got the votes in your pocket. So, we'll see about whatever, the Trump strategy was, get people to vote on Election Day. I walked right up into the poll. There was nobody there.
There were no lines?
Anecdotally, I did talk with Jonathan Winesapple, and he mentioned that his sister in Johnson County went, and she walked right in the poll. And she said 4 years ago, there was a line down the street.
Wow.
So not that Trump's going to lose Indiana.
Right.
But anecdotally, if that means where are the voters?
No, if you bring 17-point win 4 years ago down to an 8-point win, 4 years later, I mean that bodes well for other down ballots candidates.
All right, we're switching out. All right, I'm going to switch
No.
out. Mayor's going to come in.
I can switch out with the
No,
mayor.
I'm good. I'm good. I need a break. It's good.
So
Go ahead. Keep it rolling, boys.
you keep it rolling. If you look at Andrade, I mean, really, he would have to win. Andrade would have to lose
Munster.
80% of
He'd
the.
have to lose Munster.
Yeah, but by 80%.
That's his hometown.
Right. He'd have to lose Munster walking in.
I say he's
Which-
going to break
which-
even or win Munster.
I mean, that was always the goal as a Democrat running in Munster, was to break even or win.
I give the kid credit. He worked his butt off.
He did work
He worked
hard
very
for sure.
hard.
He worked his
And there's
butt
lots
off.
of reasons for people to look at the entire ballot. You had the
Oh, for heaven's sake, yeah.
right. You had the school board races, and then you had the judges that were on there.
Yeah, you couldn't just blow it off. And sorry to all those judges. I didn't know your name. I just voted no.
Hey,
Hey
If
guys.
I
Way to
didn't,
go.
if I didn't know who you were, I just voted no.
I
Sorry.
just need to say I'm going to interrupt. This
Yeah.
is a public service call. Now that we got Smith the hell out of the room, he gave you hell the other day on your podcast.
About what?
From one of our buddies, Red Stone. You were wearing a T-shirt that he gave
Yeah,
you that
I
said
know.
Metropolitan Steel.
I know.
So
Our
Re-
buddy's T-shirt.
So Red, who's a dear friend of mine, he came over my house last night. I wanted you to know this, just to bring you guys some.
Oh, I love
Oh,
it.
did he?
He wants
He wants
Reardon to
Oh,
have one.
wow.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
screw Kevin.
He
right?
wants
This is
McDermott
definitely
to
show
have
and
one.
tell. This is outstanding.
He wants Vera to have one,
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get
that's so
let's
sweet.
and he wants Smith to have. Well, should we give
Oh
Smith one?
no, I love it. Yeti.
Awesome,
No,
isn't
Kevin
it?
doesn't
I
like
love it.
Yetis.
Yeah, he doesn't like Yetis. Huh?
Wow.
What's up?
Attaboy, Brad.
That is nice.
So thank you, Red, for
Thank you, Red.
for everybody's
Yeah.
with their new Yetis.
That's awesome.
Metropolitan Steel paid for those.
Excellent.
Hey, we got Vera rotating out, so it's good, and we'll see her again in a little bit. Hey, Vera, could you try to track down Attorney General numbers for Indiana? Do you mind? I've been. Oh, we got Donald Trump in the studio, right over Kevin's head, which
Can
is
I
so
just
appropriate.
use that to
Hey, Jerry,
talk
come on
as
in.
him?
Here, let me see it. I'll wear it.
Yeah, put that on.
Oh yeah, Steve was wearing that the other day. It was properly sanitized. Nice. Hey, Jerry, how's it going?
Tom, how are you?
Good to see you. Maybe just talk right in there. Nice to see you. Look at
Hey,
Kevin.
That looks
Sure.
great. My man.
Is that good?
Yeah. What's up,
I'm
man?
doing good. How about
Welcome,
things?
welcome back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate having
We
me.
brought you back to the studio and Matt back to the studio at the same time. So
That's
we
right.
figure, we revisit some old times. Matt still has the record for the most action on the cuss counter, which
That's
is
right.
something
Really?
to be proud of.
You topped Tom?
I did.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty easy.
He topped me in like
Wait, you
15
had the
minutes.
first week that you had it
Oh, but
filled.
I was like
You
was
were
like
ranting that week.
that was like a therapy session.
Yeah,
Make sure
for
you talk
sure.
more into the
Yeah, bring that
microphone.
mic up,
Yeah, sorry.
Jerry.
It was more therapy the first couple
How's that?
episodes. Now it's like I don't cuss
How you
nearly as
doing?
much.
Good
I
seeing
had,
you.
You guys know
Jerry.
each other?
I had.
We've met before, about 3-4 times.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry's.
spots, though?
I know you've read 100, thousands of his
Or
columns.
at least one.
Yeah. Well,
How many columns do you think you've written?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
What,
Yeah.
5,000?
thousands. Yeah.
5,000?
I have no idea. Columns and stories for 25 years. You could do the math.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not that old, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 58. Am I the oldest here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you, Matt? 54?
Yeah.
Kev? Same?
Yes. Same.
Get out of here.
I'm 54.
I'm 51.
Yeah, I know you
Yeah.
are.
I'm
Damn
still doing all right.
whippersnapper.
We're seasoned. We're seasoned.
I know, man. It doesn't
Seasoned.
intimidate me. It doesn't intimidate me. You know what does intimidate me is it seems like I know a lot more people that are getting really ill or passing away, and that's
I
a little
know.
weird. Like
I
people my age, which is very
Oh.
weird.
You mean COVID related?
Well, I mean, we have a mutual friend,
Yeah.
to a few of us that's in the hospital right now, about to get heart surgery. Or he did get heart surgery today.
Oh,
right?
yep.
Yep.
Went
We're
in
talking about-
today.
Yeah,
you know.
Dave Kuziak. Yeah,
We talked
I mean,
about him.
Started with COVID, went to pneumonia, and then, thankfully they found whatever, and they're cracking them open, so that's a good thing.
But he was so anyway. We had him. I had a good friend of mine, another mutual friend, Dave
Yeah.
Rosmanich,
Sorry.
passed last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I had another friend of the family, my nanny's son, Kip Simmons, grew up in Munster.
The Kipper.
Yeah,
Right.
dies.
He's down on vacation. I get
50.
a note from his mom.
Yeah, 51. Like
Really?
this week.
Yes.
It's like starting to feel freaking mortal.
So
So,
we should mask up. You got your mic
we
mask.
should, yeah.
At least you got your mic
I love
mask.
you guys.
That's halfway.
I've got the mask
You got
on
it.
the
Yeah,
mic.
Should I,
You
should I
practice
not?
safe miking.
Yeah, safe
Yeah.
miking.
You
here.
covered
You
the
never
tip.
know. It's a roll of the dice.
Kevin always covers the tip. So,
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's right.
But
Old habits.
That's right.
yeah.
Tom.
Pull and pray.
So
That's
just
my-
so you know, Jerry walks around with the Post-Tribune, just so you know.
Dude is awesome.
It was just for the.
You're such a good employee.
It was just for the photo.
Really?
Because all the words I've written doesn't compare to this photo. Look at that.
It's a great photo.
Look at that photo. People waiting.
Did you
out.
take the photo also?
I did not.
Man,
No,
the
no.
photographer is getting a lot of
Alex took
play
that.
off.
You know Alex, the reporter.
Yeah.
She's probably
Oh, no kidding. She did that with an iPhone.
She did that. I'm guessing. I
Isn't
don't know.
isn't
But
that crazy?
But that photo says everything.
I agree with you.
That photo says everything about
That-
today.
By the
and
way,
last
that means,
few weeks.
in my opinion, well, granted, this is Lake County, but anytime you see a huge surge of new voters like we see in America, I'm not just talking about Northwest Indiana, that's never good news for the incumbent. Do we all agree on that, General?
It's not a good sign.
I agree,
You got
right?
a bunch of other people.
Right. If like Hammond, like if I was running for re-election and Hammond had like an overwhelming like voter surge and like they're
There's
like,
been
I'm definitely voting in this election. You're like,
5,000 new registered
Right?
voters.
But
Yeah.
do you feel that way if it's in rural communities?
Has
if you
anybody
see
found
long
anything on the
lines?
referendum in Gary?
I'm trying to find
Do I
it
see
out.
long lines in?
Do you feel that way that it's not good for the incumbent if you see
I-
long lines in rural communities?
I
I do not. Feel
Really?
I think it's
well, you
good
see
for
when you're
Trump.
like in Trump areas,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right. No,
long
I mean
lines.
the crazy thing, it's I don't know, man. I have a feeling that by coming into today, and I just don't see how Trump. I don't even see how today's close. That's just where I'm coming from,
You
and
need landslide Biden all the way.
yeah, that's where I was coming from. Like
Is that
and
because the-
my thinking is it was so close 4 years ago, and this guy has done nothing
True.
but pissed everybody off and divided us for 4 years. Like how could he have gotten
But
stronger?
you have that quiet Trump vote out there
You
that
do.
doesn't say much, and they live in most of
Did-
Indiana, as you know.
Do you think that got bigger? I mean, in the last 4 years, that's the question. Because I think it got smaller. Like I do. I think that there's people that voted for him 4 years ago that.
Well, they're definitely more vocal and outspoken.
Yeah.
So I know a person that walked in the voting booth today, and in another state, and he was a big fan of Trump. He did not like Biden that much. His kids talked him into it, so he wrote in his dog.
Nice.
I looked at him. I was like,
Admirable.
"Why would you do that?" And he told
That's how
me
much he dislikes both.
That's how much. Yeah.
Well, in 2016, how many people did not vote for Hillary? They just voted for anybody else. It
Yes.
happened to be this con man named Trump. and
How
they
many
voted-
votes did Theo Epstein get from the Cubs or what? He
Yeah,
got, he
that
got
was a good year for him.
Ton of
He
votes.
goes a good year for him.
Turns
Yeah,
out,
right?
Turns out he's probably not going to get that same vote.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I don't think
yeah.
so.
No.
Politics is a fickle beast.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I voted for Theo Epstein 4 years ago. No, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I did. I'm a good party guy.
I did too. As
Did
much
you?
as
Just-
it
you're
pained
beautiful,
me.
man.
Did
You're
it pain
beautiful.
you?
Oh,
My dad is
See,
convinced.
literally,
that
that
look
was the
says
only
it all.
person
Your
in
dad's
America
gonna go crazy
on the
tonight.
ballot.
My dad's convinced.
That made me vote for Hillary Clinton was because Trump was the Republican nominee. It could have been anybody else.
Right.
Anybody on planet Earth.
By the way, they had the Republican primary, they had really good candidates in that race.
I
I
know
mean,
they
it's
did.
the fact that he beat everybody.
I know.
Wait, he barn rushed them all. I mean, he just
changed the rules
he
on him.
punked them out.
He
He beat
did.
him and beat him down.
Punked them out. I mean,
Yeah, he
Jeb
really did.
Bush was like a deer in
my
headlights.
God. He
really was.
Here's a refined man, right?
That
The
was fun to
governor,
watch.
And
That
he
was
didn't
just
know
fun to
how.
watch.
It was a street fight for
Yeah.
him.
You can't talk to me
Yeah,
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
He went in there
Whoa.
like old school boxing, and then Trump had like a chain. It's like-
That is so
it's
true.
like, wait a
Whatever,
second.
yeah.
I thought we were being gentlemen.
Yeah,
Count to
so I'm waiting
five.
for somebody to really, break a bottle and be like, listen here, you fucking clown. You don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's the list of your bankruptcies. What are you going to do for
By
that? I
the
mean,
way-
nobody even bothered.
I know.
They tried the
right,
way,
Matt.
the normal way to do it.
You're right, Matt.
And so
this stuff should have come out in the primary,
Oh
and
my
nobody was
God.
doing their job.
No, they were
we're
all
stuck with
talking about, they were talking about what they were going to do on a policy standpoint and all this other, instead of just saying, you don't know shit about anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, you paid off a porn star, and you've been divorced 3 times. I don't know why the alt-right's got anything to do with you. You're a fucking scumbag.
It's all about the
and
Supreme
just
Court.
rolled with
It's all
that
about
and
race.
just steamrolled him. And but hey, the guy wins. And like I said, I'm of the opinion it's hard to beat the incumbent. I wouldn't shock me if Trump wins.
I agree. That's exactly
Really?
how I feel. Yeah.
Honest to God.
dude, I see the
As
look.
much
Shocked?
as much as I
I
don't
would
want
be
to
shocked.
see
in
it.
2016 on election.
I
I
would be
will
shocked.
not be shocked.
I'm calling it right now. This presidential race is over. It's going to be a blue wave. It's going to be. I say Biden gets more than 330 electoral
I agree
votes
with
tonight.
Kevin.
Well, here's
I
some
think
good
it's
news.
Ass whooping.
Biden won Virginia.
Is that for sure?
100%.
That's for sure.
Bank it.
Wow, John, are those up to date? You're updating the electoral college chart for us? Yes. Indiana's already in the books.
Indiana was
11. It was in the books at 6:01.
It was.
Dude, it's so
Done.
embarrassing. Done.
Yeah.
Dude, there was like
As
12% of the vote counted, and they called the governor's race.
Yeah,
12%.
That we knew, though. We knew the governor.
Come on, just count 50% before you tell me I'm dead.
They
Right?
didn't even bother
Governor's
counting Lake and Vandenberg County. They're like, don't even. Yeah, okay,
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
Those are 60.
Even with the dead people there,
Yeah.
they still can't get enough votes to win.
Even if it's 70-30, you know, and I'll tell you what, that's a guy that I didn't have a problem voting for, governor of Indiana. I didn't have a problem.
Eric?
Nope, no
Holcomb.
problem.
Holcomb?
No.
I was all over the ballot today.
I'll be honest with you, man.
So you voted today.
Yeah, walk right in.
I think
Walk
Holcomb
right in.
has handled the coronavirus about as well as you can, given the circumstances. I'm not saying that he's great. I'm not saying he sucks, but like
He
he's
traced
sort
across
of
the fence just right.
he
How
almost
supposed to.
like look at what's going on in Illinois. I don't think that's right. Shutting and not giving everybody a chance. Like, but at the same
And you said
time,
that
like
publicly before,
right.
too, yeah.
I think like a middle ground is good, and I
Even
think
if
that's
it's
what
good
he's.
for Indiana with Illinois decisions.
Oh, I think it's great for Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
honestly, that's the businessman in me. Like, come on over.
Yeah, yeah.
Wear your mask.
So
Don't sneeze on me.
I mean,
These are basic
I'm a
rules.
big proponent of, I grew up being like a Birch Bayh Democrat, right? Who was a centralist.
Yeah, totally.
He rolled up his sleeves. He was out on those farmers. He was really down the middle. He played between the 45-yard lines.
Yeah.
And he did some great things, especially for female sports in college and so on and so forth.
And the Electoral College, right? He
Yes.
was almost got a
Yes.
change to the Constitution.
So you look at today, and it seems like we're all playing between the 10-yard lines and the goal line, right?
Good way to put it, man.
And we're so extreme. I mean, we have the extreme left and we have the extreme right.
Yeah, but how many people are in that 80 yards? That's what I'm always curious
A lot.
about. A lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think that more where we
Because
are.
those 10-yard, your analogies, are very vocal.
Mhm.
And they're so
Well, that's
vocal,
exactly
they drown
it.
us out, and we go,
They're more
what is
interesting,
reality?
Jerry.
I don't know what reality
They're
is.
more interesting. You're not going to do a column on a person in the middle. you
Jerry,
know?
they've hijacked our party. They really have. I mean,
They've hijacked both.
both parties.
parties.
Both parties.
Both parties,
Both
yeah.
parties.
Right.
But I think that this right now, what's going to happen with this blue wave, everything's going to go in check because 2023, believe it or not, I don't want to go 4 years ahead of time, but 2023 is going to be, the demographics is going to be so different in this country. They've been waiting for this tidal wave for 12 years. 2023 is going to be so huge that the Republican Party is going to need to change their position.
Yeah.
Big time.
And wasn't
so they can compete.
the majority minority supposed to take place in 2050? So it sounded like futuristic when I first wrote that, like just 20 years ago. Like 2030, 2040.
2050.
Like now,
hey,
it's like,
like, hey,
it's
Jerry, it's
upon
here.
us.
You're
We
like 2050
feel
is
it.
next week.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how it feels.
blink of an eye.
So that kind of ties into what you're saying. Though.
Yeah, it's, I've had this conversation with so many of my friends about the hijacking of both parties.
For sure.
And when you drive down the road and you see these flags that are basically flying high for Trump and everything else, those are vocal people. They're upset about something.
Well, it's clinging to power.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Isn't that politics? Isn't
Yeah.
that just a clinging to power? You want to keep
Are
it
they,
crazy.
what, I mean, I've often wondered what they're all upset. I mean, honestly, what are they upset about?
I think they were a lot upset about a lot of the unrest that was going on in this country and the looting and a lot of.
Hey, I'm upset about that.
I
mean,
I am too.
knock that shit off.
Look
yeah, but then
look at our
but then
city
the word
of Chicago.
unrest. How do you define? I hate that word unrest. I see it in newspapers all the time, and I go, "What the hell is unrest?"
Unrest is when property damage occurs.
Yeah.
That's official unrest.
That's my definition. Is like, you want to shut down traffic? No problem. You want to march all over the city? No problem. You want to take up space in the park? No problem. You break a freaking window on a business? That's when we get
Because
serious.
unrest doesn't
Like,
sound. It sounds like violence to me. It doesn't.
But don't
unrest
you
sounds,
put yourself
it's a
in the
nice
position?
term.
It
of-
was violence.
No, it was violence.
Yeah.
But,
What are you
but
supposed to
calling
do
it
is-
unrest just sounds
Right.
a little.
I agree. It's like
Unrestful.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds
that's very
unrestful.
unrestful.
they're exercising their constitutional rights.
But it sure shit doesn't need to get sugar-coated.
No.
But then,
What would you do if you're the mayor of Chicago when that happened, Matt? I mean, seriously.
I
mean, when
what do
they
you-
start,
They're boarding up windows right now.
I know.
Right
What would
now
I
as we
do?
speak, they're boarding up.
I'd be like, well,
that
you know what?
downtown as well.
When you see people doing crimes, lock them up.
I agree with you, man.
I have
like,
a- I have-
And
arrest them.
that's it.
It's like, I tell you what, you want to break Tiffany's front window and go in there and loot the place. If I catch you in there, we're going to tackle you. We're going to arrest you.
Yes.
We're going to throw you in the back of a paddy wagon and charge you with
Do
all.
cops want to do that? It's easy for us.
I
to
think
say
the
that.
cops want to do that. I don't think they
Can
feel
they
like
do
that.
that?
I don't think they feel the mayor of Chicago's got
See,
their back.
that's
I
the
agree.
rub.
It's like
Can
they're
they do that?
It's like
You
they're
can't.
handcuffed to not do that.
But if I
Right.
do it, if I'm
They
a
stand
police
off on
officer,
the
in
side
Chi-
watching, and who am I to say rush in there?
right? But like, I think that they're like, if I do rush in there and the shit hits the fan, where's the mayor going to be? Is the mayor going to throw me under a bus?
Yep.
right? And they have to have confidence. And I feel like in Hammond, after being mayor as long as I have, I feel like the cops have the confidence that the mayor's going to have us.
That they could do that.
Yeah,
I
and it gives them
agree.
freedom to be a police officer and to do things that are tough because it's not an easy goddamn job. It's a hard job.
It's a hard job.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, it's protect and serve, not observe.
Right.
And
observe,
report.
Right. Observe
Well,
and report.
that guy broke
Observe
those
and
fucking
charge.
windows, and look like I don't
that
know,
was
man.
him.
That dude was stealing a washer dryer.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking stopping. What do
Right.
I care?
Yeah.
No.
And I think going back to this election tonight, I think that because of what we've seen in a lot of the major cities, I think a lot of people are smart enough to realize part of the problem is the rhetoric that comes out of our president's mouth on why the area is so crazy. And then he goes and starts yelling at the people who are rioting. Now, granted, a large percent of those guys should all be locked up. I mean, anybody that goes into a store and walks out with a damn washer.
Under the guise of protest or demonstration.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I watched a guy walk out of Best Buy with a washer on a dolly the other day, and somebody fist pumped him as he's walking out.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's
That's our
ridiculous.
country.
So, but back to what people get all rammy about. I still think there's a whole shitload of people that are still pissed off we had a black president.
Of course there are.
Agree
Of course
totally.
there are.
Right?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Like they're just still grinding.
Did
the
you think,
axe.
honestly, when Obama got elected? Because I was naive. I was like, finally, we freaking did it. America could finally freaking move on.
Well, we turned a proverbial corner.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
I really felt like that was it.
Yeah, so the
did
pendulum
it.
went this way, and then
It's
it went
coming back.
back.
It always
that
comes
way.
back. Yeah.
Big time.
It
So
went back
you
sharp.
know, and retrospectively,
But it's not doing this.
No.
looking
It's
back
doing
to
Yeah.
Trump getting elected, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. But you look at what Trump did and the kind of campaign he ran, it really fits the profile of what was going on in a lot of people's minds about America and Obama. And, there's a whole bunch of states out there that don't have diversity, don't want diversity.
Not at all.
And they're being told by a highly ranking person running for office and now a president that, your problems are being created by people of color and people from not here. And, if we could just get rid of those people, maybe your lot in life gets a lot better. And that's the story being told. And if you're from Kansas in a trailer park and you don't fucking know any better, and this guy's running for office, this all sounds great.
It does. Even if he doesn't care about the poor, obviously.
No.
But you got the right color.
Right.
And you got some hope, and that's all they care
And
about.
that was the sell. So, I mean, does that work now? I don't know.
You don't think so, huh? But you're still on the fence if Trump can get elected still.
I
Tom
think
is
the
not.
power of the incumbency is a
powerful.
bitch
Yeah.
to overcome. And while I've seen an overt effort by a lot of different states, and I'm talking about the races for Senate in different places and House races, where you have a concerted effort by the Democratic Party to either materially participate or aggressively go after through rigorous campaigns and funding to get some shit accomplished. Kentucky, was Mitch McConnell going to lose? Probably not.
No.
But you know what?
If he loses,
guess
that's
what?
a bad day.
Guess
Yeah,
what?
that's a bad day.
Having Mitch McConnell worrying about Mitch McConnell, he can't go fucking run his mouth about how great Donald Trump is. And Lindsey Graham, another example. Now, is that going to flip? I don't know. But Lindsey Graham's got to worry about Lindsey Graham.
It doesn't appear. I mean, I guess Lindsey started making a comeback here in the last few days, and that Jamie Harrison's
a tough campaigner.
Tough campaigner.
By the way,
tough campaigner.
It seems to me that the president's got a lot of momentum right now, by the way. I think if Election Day is a week away, I think Trump just keeps on gaining on him. It seems to me like...
Stop it now.
Thank God it's today's election
yeah,
day. I think
right.
he keeps on... I mean, you have to give I'm giving the president credit here because I just don't like
I
the
do
guy.
too at times, of course.
But his freaking
He's a
campaigning...
steamroller.
He's a freaking stud.
Well, just so
on the
you
campaign
know,
trail.
to add to that though, is you look at a state like Arizona. Okay, he's made multiple stops in Arizona. I mean, that's Barry Goldwater state, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has not moved off that dial of 7 points for the last 6 weeks.
7 points, he's down.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why Arizona's probably going to be blue.
But you know
most
what's
likely.
crazy? Because I go out there a lot now that my dad's out there, right? He's out there right now. Dude, like, I'm telling you, with the people I talk to, they're all Trumpers.
They're all Trumpers.
Big time.
But that's because your dad lives in a really nice neighborhood.
He does.
That's-
it
that's
does,
a
throw, it
factor,
does
isn't it?
throw it off a little bit.
All Trump supporters need is one reason to vote for Trump. It could be you want a wall. It could be you're white. It could be you think you're not.
We should ask John.
All it takes is one reason.
John's a great friend of mine. I love John Vesmar, and he's also a Trump supporter, and I'm still friends with him, actually. Did you know that, Jerry?
No.
I'm not.
Yeah, John, I'm reevaluating. After tonight, I'm reevaluating.
But
John,
just one reason to vote for him is
John,
all you need.
John, what's your reason?
Right, and they're aware of that.
Yeah.
John, what's your reason?
Pick a reason.
Against racial inequality.
That's not the reason he picked.
Welcome. How about welcome back, Kevin?
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Hey, Kev, welcome back.
Maybe it's just the abortion issue. Maybe it's just that alone. That's
What is
all
it,
would
John?
take.
That's the easy
Traditional
pickings.
American values.
But I know people who do it.
They do it all
Wait,
the time.
traditional American values by
Conservative
whom?
values.
Yeah.
Grab him in the
Donald
pussy.
Trump?
Yes, by that tradition.
Yeah,
The
right.
Republican Party. Listen.
I agree.
Listen,
Republican Party, that'd be one thing.
if
But
there-
Donald Trump does not really reflect traditional American values.
If there was a Republican alternative, but there's not.
Right. So then why Trump?
Because he's the guy.
Why Trump? Because I don't want Kamala to be president. That's why.
That's that I've heard that a lot.
I have heard
from the
that
right.
too.
Yeah,
What?
Because of Biden's
Like-
age.
but like
You
okay.
can't say traditional
Uh,
Republican values and say I'm for Trump.
But by the way, like
Sure
I
you
know
can.
Mike Pence. He's a freaking jackass, dude. I'm scared to death that guy would ever become president. I'll be honest with you. So
The
like,
last 4 years, I think all Democrats and
right?
all
Anybody?
liberals have been afraid of that.
Dude,
Yeah.
man, like I grew up with the guy sort of like he was the governor when I was really growing up in office, and like he was a pain in the ass. It was sort of, Eric Holcomb.
I remember
pretty good.
a
He was-
meeting
he
that
was
you
pretty-
had with the governor in his office at the table. You know, the big table. We're
The
in
Indiana
there.
table.
It's it's
It's
really
got all the
actually
counties.
really
It's like a
cool.
jigsaw puzzle. All the counties have their own separate piece. It's badass. It's humongous, like jigsaw puzzle with all 90 counties.
And we're in there for a meeting, and you know, it was nice for the governor to have the mayor up there. I mean, it's not like you just get to go in anytime you want. Had a meeting on an issue, sat down with him, and at the end of the day, he said, "You know what, Mayor? I'm going to pray on this, and I'm going to keep praying on it, and I'll let you know."
Oh, that scares the hell out of me.
He never got back to us. By the way,
never
so I
got
don't know.
back.
Well,
By the way,
that means
I'm not
God
saying-
hates you, Tom.
I
That's
know,
what he's
dude. I
saying.
knew I was
That's what he's
screwed.
saying.
And I'm not
Like-
saying you can't pray on things.
My past
but
life came
that's
back and
always-
screwed me over right
That's
there.
always his answer, and that told me right at that point that he's a bit of an ideologue, and I think that's.
I'm not
that
down
was
on
the
people to
issue.
pray either, by the way.
Like
I'm
I would
not
say,
trying to diss
I
on
agree
people
with
to
that.
pray.
I totally agree with you.
But like, I think that as a mayor, if somebody said, "Hey, I really need you to take care of this problem,"
It's a
have
governmental
there," I was
issue.
like,
And you tell them.
I'm gonna pray on
I'm
this,
gonna
and I'll
pray
get
on
back
this.
to you.
I'll get
And then
back
what if you don't do it? You're like,
Yeah.
And then he
Didn't
never
turn
got
out so
back
well.
to you.
Sorry. I didn't hear back
God
from
got
God.
back to me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
He
still
said he
And
did
it-
not want me to
and
fix that pothole.
And I'll tell you, that's one big difference between our current governor and Governor Pence is
Yes.
our current governor, and which is going to be our governor for another 4 years. Is, Eric Holcomb is a very, very common sense, pragmatic kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he lets you know, like, the economy is important to the state. Things that are happening throughout the state are important to him. It's not like I'm going to ignore
See,
part
Kevin,
of the state.
that's a
just
funny
for-
thing because Jerry and I were talking about
Yeah.
you out there, and I was saying the one thing about Kevin, he's true blue. Like Kevin's a true blue D, he's true blue Hammond, right? And that's funny because you sound very complimentary when you're talking about.
Oh,
the governor.
well, as compared to Pence, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
isn't that funny,
yeah.
Jerry? Because that's true about Kevin. He's hardcore D.
I am,
Like,
but I'm-
he yells at me about shit, right? And
That's
now
true.
he's like talking, and I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah,
I think Eric Holcomb's a decent guy.
I
Matt,
think-
you agree?
I got no beef with them
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're right. I'm an absolute Democrat, but I also
You're hardcore,
support
You're good about it.
Republicans that are very pragmatic, and I think the governor has done a lot of good things for the whole state. I would almost tell you that I thought his approach before he opened it all the way up
Totally
was
agree.
really good.
I would have given him an A.
I agree.
Before phase 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
before he
right.
like
That was
jumped too
ridiculous.
quickly.
Yeah.
That was all we saw the numbers.
That was all politically based.
I agree with you.
Totally.
From
He
four,
was
from
getting
4 to
a
5.
shit-
Totally.
If anything, he
Shit
was
ton of
bucking.
pressure.
Yeah,
Totally.
he got a lot of pressure
But look
because
at
he was bucking the trend.
Rainwater's like 15% of the vote. That's all vote that would have normally gone to Eric. He lost all that because of the mess.
Yeah.
That's true. But he
It's
could
bullshit.
absorb all that. Didn't matter.
He could,
He had it
but like
anyway.
it still makes you nervous.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like strong as hell and you see like an element out there that's gaining steam, Rainwater is gaining steam, and you still have those crazy dreams at night. Believe me, you're like waking up in the middle of the night like, oh shit,
Anything
I'm
could
gonna lose
happen.
this. I'm gonna
Anything could
lose the
happen.
biggest race in Indiana
Rainwater's
history.
gonna be
Right?
get beat by the
Right?
Libertarian.
Or worst case, Rainwater
Yeah.
takes enough votes from me where
From not
where
getting
Woody gets
boxed.
in there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they talked about it.
I'm
You
sure
can't
they
help,
did.
right? When you're
I'm
a
sure.
candidate going through all the scenarios.
They were like,
Hell yeah, dude! You have all kinds of crazy dreams in your.
Even Holcomb, even in this election.
Oh yeah.
Hey, John,
Against
big
Myers?
sure.
I wanted to
sure.
report this out. Florida's really tight. It's within a percentage point, and there's about 70% of the vote in. They've still got Georgia kind of back and forth, blue to red, and they gave they gave Vermont to Biden, John. That three.
That's a big
so
shock.
It had 3.
Woo, that's it. That's it. I'm ready to call it. All right. I'll hold off a little bit.
You know, that's the other thing that irks me.
Dude, Hammond's bigger than Vermont.
It is. This
Bernie
whole,
came through.
I'm this electoral college thing. So people are like, well, we need this, and my contention is this. Listen, back when we set up the country, we had to keep these people in line by giving them something. It's like, okay, you fucking
the small states.
50 people.
We needed everybody.
I need to have you be part of
Well,
us.
we want you to sign on to the Constitution.
Right.
I mean, is the whole thing,
I
right?
need a buy-in. That's the buy-in.
I want to give you guys are really important and part of this whole thing. But the truth of the matter is, what the fuck happened to one person and one vote? Where now I've been fighting with people on Facebook for 2 months about the Electoral College, and I said, my state has zero impact on shit. I said, you understand? Because I know that the number of electoral votes are going to go to Trump.
Yeah.
So no matter what I do, it doesn't matter.
It's crushing. It could be very crushing.
So why am I engaged in this worry about the Electoral College system? And their argument always is, well, do you want California and New York to pick who it is? And I said, no, I want the fucking people that are voting to pick who it is.
So I don't know if you heard this, but there's a really very interesting push in the 60s by Birch Bayh, senator from Indiana, to get rid of the Electoral College, and actually Nixon had bought onto it, and it had gone through the House, and it got caught up in the Senate. We're talking about the Electoral College, Tom, and
Loved Electoral College.
how originally, and this shows you how you've got the Voltaire and the Enlightenment thought of Jefferson and everybody like that, thinking they thought originally the reason for the Electoral College was a bunch of smart guys would get together and pick the president, and we'd all be on the same page.
Nice.
Right. It's like
under the illusion that the dumb people of the rest of the country
because
shouldn't have a voice.
Their vote.
Because while you guys all go, if you can, hop on your wagons and just pick up your
on
sticks.
a Tuesday because of agriculture.
And just go vote, and then we'll fucking sort it out for you because we're going to handle it. So we don't need that anymore. Information is readily available. You can move from state to state. This is all fucking horseshit at this point. And I'm like, and then when I interject the thing, I'm like, well, how do we elect a governor? Well, that's not the same thing. I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
I go, there's 5 million people in Indiana. So what if the counties picked them? Oh, that wouldn't be fair. I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Why wouldn't that be fair? Well, because, all the counties where all the people live are going to vote Democrat. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I go, so now how do you feel about it? And they're like, well, that's not fucking how it should be. And I'm like, well, right. That's not how it should be.
Is this even feasible, though, to address, you want to abolish the Electoral College? I mean, that...
Well, you'd have to go through
It's
Congress.
not going to happen.
Which will never happen.
No, never going to happen.
It's a nice
Not
hypothetical
now.
argument we could have.
It almost happened in the
election
early
day.
70s or late 60s, early 70s. It got caught up in the Senate. It's not going to come up again. There's no way. You've got to get it through Congress, and then you've got to pass, I don't know, what's the Steve, how many? 2/3 or 3/4? No, for an amendment, 3/4, right? 3/4 of the states have to pass it after it gets through
2/3 of Congress.
Yes,
so it's a non-starter.
It's not.
So it's here to stay. That's great.
But we agree with your argument, though. We agree with the argument.
Oh, sure.
But it's not going to change anything, though.
Let's look at the. There was a question on Facebook about the public question for Gary schools. This is important for the city of Gary. And the early votes, there's 12,702 votes in. It's 56% in favor of the question, 43% against. That's big for the city of Gary if that, in fact, passes. 7,151 to 5,551. So about a 2,600 vote lead for the public question, at least in the early first run from Crown Point.
And that should hold, don't you think?
Also to report out, you would think. Mitch McConnell is leading with 38% reporting. And in the 5th District in Indiana, probably the most heated congressional race in the state, Christina Hale leads with 36% reporting. So that's big news,
good.
too. Good friend of the region, and she's actually originally from Michigan City.
Right.
We're going to switch out Matt Reardon. He's going to go hopefully get a sandwich and relax a little bit. There's some bunch of McDermotts are in the house, so you can go watch them. And we've got Alfredo Estrada, one of our first and best sponsors on LockPod, is here in the house. So how does it? So you're surrounded by 3 Croatians. How's it?
Oh
how's
my
that
God, I
feel?
didn't realize that.
It's the region, right? So I've been surrounded by Croatians and Serbs and Greeks my whole life.
It's a microcosm, isn't it?
I would leave
It is a
homes for
microcosm.
Mexicans and just go to Croats and Serbs.
This is the region. This is the region. At least it was.
Yeah,
That's right.
no different than my everyday life, right?
So it's nice to have you.
I appreciate
And-
you guys having me.
And
yeah.
thanks for sponsoring and being so part of the program. We obviously talk a lot about you, and we're talking about your sponsorship, but it's good to have you. And I know that one of the things you do, Alfredo, and do really well is do a lot of immigration law and represent a lot of folks and DACA and other immigration issues. And that's a big issue in the election. I mean, have you heard it from your clients and their families about why it's an important issue and how important it is?
Yeah, so I mean, especially for DACA recipients, right? And right now, the Trump administration is trying to reduce it from a 2-year to a 1-year renewal. Attacked it and failed in the Supreme Court. So a lot of things we're saying right now is when they come in, hey, I have X, Y, and Z option. Say, let's wait. Let's wait till today, see the results. And when you look at Joe Biden's platform on DACA, DAPA, and other immigration reform, there may be some more opportunities come January 20th. So we'll see. It's on everybody's mind. I didn't appreciate the lack of attention it got during the debates and this the presidential race.
Have your clients been patient with you with this philosophy of just wait?
Well, Jerry, absolutely, because what I tell them is, hey, you've been here undocumented 20 years. What's 6 more months, right? Yeah. So when they trust your legal advice, they tend to go ahead and do that.
I think it's a dramatic point that the
voice of Steve Sersic in the House
tonight. Thank you, Kevin Smith, my law partner and longtime friend, and
been waiting 24 episodes for this.
24 episodes. This is my cameo. Remember the famous cameo, John Bresner?
On election night.
On election. So basically, that Alfredo's point, and Alfredo and I are both active in the legal community, members of the Lake County Bar Association Board of Directors, and so we hear a lot about what's going on with our fellow attorneys. The fact that fates of individual families and children in actual real litigation are pending tonight.
Absolutely. Livelihoods.
Is unbelievable.
That's been overlooked.
Yes.
I believe
That
so.
aspect's been overlooked.
And when you look at in what I the immigrant story used to be romanticized, right? When we talk about, we just joke,
Sure.
Croats
like
and
our,
Serbs,
like our
Irish,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
We would say, hey, back in the old country, my dad came here,
Yep.
self-made,
Absolutely.
worked in the
Right.
mills, and right now it's just demonized for the last
Isn't
4
that
years.
isn't that interesting?
Did that flip
crazy.
in 2016 too, or when did that flip? Then that
It's
That's a great
there's
narrative.
always
When did that
been.
narrative flip?
Look throughout history. There's always been an immigrant community that's kind of been punched
Stigmatized.
on.
Yeah,
and
without
it's
a doubt.
because it's easy. Right?
Irish, Italians, whatever you want.
But you
now
always
it's Mexicans,
you
right?
always had that. Hey, families first, and if you could come here and work your butt off, you get a fair shot,
That's right.
regardless.
Right.
And that's no longer our American story. Now it's if you come here and you're at the southern border and you want a fair shot, too bad. Too bad, because you're murderers, you're rapists, and there's all this rhetoric around it. So,
and you get people to start believing that.
absolutely. And that's because we're in a realm of politics where we only could do bumper sticker politics, right? It's
That's right.
4 words: Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter,
Right.
Make America Great Again. And you're trying to make real complicated things like politics and governing to real simple, to get a message
like
out.
a corporate branding logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
you
Yeah.
can't talk
Right.
politics in this type of way.
Right.
And when people want to talk immigration with me, I start talking about particular statutes, things that are going on.
You're
and
going to
they're
lose
like,
somebody with that
Forget it.
conversation.
I don't want to hear
That's
that
right.
stuff, right?
Today I was out working as an deputy election commissioner, and something that struck me was that, okay, on the one hand, we are sitting around going, well, look at how polarized our country is. Look at how everyone's sort of at each other's throats in some ways that are on opposite sides of opinion. But on the other hand, gee, isn't it great that people are passionate, okay? But are they passionate about the right stuff? Are people really getting together as a community and saying, what is the way forward for us as a nation? Or are they just throwing slogans at each other?
I think everybody, when you start talking politics, it just hunkers them down in their beliefs. But one thing we got to, whatever regardless happens tonight in the presidential election, we have to give Trump some credit in that he's made it important to voice your opinion.
And to get your ass
Absolutely.
off
And to
off
remind
your
you why
couch.
it's important to vote.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So whether you're
That's
for
right.
him or against him, the record turnouts today we'll see is a direct correlation of how he ran it. He governed in his presidency.
Without a doubt.
You know, real quick, I'm looking at the map. It keeps flipping. It's amazing, actually. Florida's now like a red lead for Trump. We're real tight, 49.9 to 49.2. Georgia's 49.6% to 49.4. It looks like he's got about 1,000 vote lead in Georgia, the president does. In Florida, with 83% of the vote in,
Really?
it's 4.956 million to 4.89 million. That's how tight that is. We're talking about out of 10 million votes, about a 60,000 vote difference. Texas is blue, is looking like it's light blue right now. So is Ohio, but those I'm sure are very, very early numbers. And North Carolina is kind of a tight red, or like not a bright red, but looks like really early 1% reporting. You can't really call that. Ohio with 32% reporting shows Biden at 60%, Trump at 40%. That's going to change significantly because I'm sure that depends on where the vote's coming from. It looks to me that must be from the urban areas in Ohio. So in Texas, with just 16% in, shows 54-45 Biden. So
I'll tell you what,
all interesting.
If Texas goes blue, the Democratic Party is going to owe Julian Castro.
No kidding.
Just so
Big
much.
time.
Literally,
what cabinet position do you want?
Exactly. He's
right?
going to be able to write it. And I thought he made a political mistake by endorsing Warren so early after he dropped out.
Yeah.
But he's kind of regained his capital within the Democratic Party by just hunkering down in Texas and really running a statewide campaign for the Democratic ticket.
Well,
there.
between Beto and Castro and all those guys, it'll be. Well, I mean, look, you got to give Beto a lot of credit, right? He took on Cruz and almost beat him in Texas when it was real red Texas.
And the down ticket benefited so much from Beto's race.
Is that right?
Yeah, there was like in one county or statewide 12 Latina judges elected based upon the turnout by Beto O'Rourke, which is unprecedented. So I think.
So is Texas a good barometer for the country?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
question I'm wondering.
I
Is
think
it a true
great
barometer
question.
or not?
I think next election we're going to have to throw out whatever happens tonight and start anew just because of the candidate.
I'm interested to see what happens in Arizona. I think if Arizona goes blue, and I mean, and the math I heard was if you give Trump Ohio and Iowa, and you give Biden Michigan and Wisconsin, all that Biden has to do is win one of Arizona, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia. If he wins one of those, it's over.
Where does
Doesn't even come into play.
Pennsylvania?
Doesn't come into play.
I see.
So Pennsylvania doesn't come into play if that happens. If Michigan and Wisconsin come in for Biden, Ohio and Iowa you give to Trump. If one of those five come in for Biden, Pennsylvania doesn't come into play.
And how long will people be awake tonight watching these
a good
blue
question.
red map?
I don't know. I got depths tomorrow, so I don't know.
I remember 4 years. I remember 4 years ago. I think
Me
we
too. I got
called
some
it
work
at a
tomorrow
certain
too.
time.
We'll be up late.
Another question.
John, have you heard anything on Lindsey Graham in South Carolina yet?
I'll take a look.
Is there's anything coming up? Because I know that's a race that's interesting at least. South Carolina has pretty much already been called for Trump. It shows with 6% reporting Lindsey Graham leads. Can you throw that down there, John, with the open arrow or Lindsey? I'm not sure if you're in charge of the Google page or if John is, but there's a South Carolina button there with 6% reporting.
Mitch McConnell won.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Mitch McConnell wins
Amy McGrath
Kentucky.
was such a hope for me.
She had a tough primary too.
And she had a tough primary.
And it's called already.
Called already.
Yeah.
John, do you see that it just changed to Jamie Harrison leads with 6% reporting? That's interesting. Something's going on. It's tight in South Carolina, maybe. Who knows? John's just deleting and putting it.
I'm not,
Up-to-date news
I'm
here
not
right
controlling the monitor that you guys are looking at.
All right.
It looked like it.
Lindsey.
Jamie, man, I mean, there you go. He's leading at 6% reporting, but that's early.
That's
right?
early,
That's
really
early.
early. You can't
Super
call anything
early,
from that.
yeah.
And with 1% reporting in Michigan, Biden's leading. But
Where's Purdue versus Oso in Georgia? That Senate race. I think that's going to be really interesting. He came off really aggressive.
It shows with in the Senate race. Lindsey, could you throw that up there again, please, and scroll down? Because in the Senate race in Georgia, it looks like we don't have that yet.
Okay.
We don't have that up yet.
I think that's going to be a determining factor where Georgia goes.
Ossoff versus Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to reiterate, AP is called the Kentucky race. Senate
All right,
race.
so Mitch McConnell retained his seat in Kentucky. I guess, was it big, by the way? Can you do the down arrow on that, on the Kentucky?
55% Mitch, 41% McGrath, 4% Barron.
All right, good. Well, there's some Senate races.
But that's 63% reporting.
So I guess there's other Senate races we want to keep an eye on. Of course, Arizona, Iowa, South Carolina, and North Carolina is big. And we'll see what happens in those races because that's going to be could determine the Senate.
Any interesting House races, Kevin?
Well, I mean, Christina Hale, of course, she's in the lead with 39% reporting. Lindsey, can you click the down arrow right next? Yeah, there one. Thanks. So Christina Hale's up with 49.5% of the vote to 47.5% of the vote, 91,000 to 87,000 right now in Indiana District 5. That's a big congressional race. That's a pickup for the Democrats if she gets that seat.
Well, if she wins that, she needs to send a present to Kenneth Tucker, the Libertarian, by stealing 3% away from probably most of the Republican vote.
You're right about that.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
All right, let's go back to president. And then, by the way, we're still waiting to hear some more votes from Lake County. We haven't got those in yet. Although I will say the big number that I saw early was the first run total showed Mike Andrade up by 4,000 votes, 10,000 to 6,000 in early and in-person early votes and by mail votes. So that's a big deal for fans of Mike Andrade. Of course, he is set to take the spot. The winner of that race is set to take the spot of Mara Condolari Reardon, who gave up her seat to run for Congress in the spring. But that's going to be a big deal if the D's can keep that.
So I got a call from Earl Harris today, state rep in East Chicago, and he's running to be caucus chair and take Mara's spot down there.
There you go.
Guess the votes
That'd be
tomorrow.
Great. Yeah, I think that Earl would be great minority lead for the D's down there.
I guess there's two running, him and another female candidate from downstate. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Be good because Linda Lawson was minority chair for a while when she was down there, and it's nice to have somebody from the region.
Yeah.
For sure. So
and I will say, Mike Andrade, Kevin I think he's proved himself an extremely hard worker.
You saw his dad. Get that mic right up to you, Steve.
Yeah. Sorry, get those headphones on too, Steve.
Oh, headphones.
That'll help you know where you are.
Right. Steve's new to the studio.
I'm new to this radio stuff.
Even though his office is
right 10 feet away. Yeah.
I was never good at radio. You know what I mean?
In our unofficial
speech and debate, yes, but
speech and debate, but not radio.
Well, Steve's polling higher than Kevin right now.
That's favorability. Not surprised. Not surprised.
Mike Andrade, super hard-working candidate. I saw that today. I mean, he was literally peripatetic everywhere, and just such a hard worker.
You hung out with his dad a little bit, didn't you?
I hung out with his dad today. His dad is such an amazing gentleman. And I'll just give a quote from a conversation I had. He goes, "I train them all to be hard workers, and Mike's a hard worker." And it
shows.
It shows.
Yeah.
And if he gets, and when I'll be an optimist. When he gets downstate, I think that hard working and that work ethic is going to make a difference for us. He's going to be a good advocate.
Well, more importantly, I mean, not more importantly, but as importantly, I think the constituents of his district are going to see what a hard worker. If they don't already know, they're going to know that he's a hard worker for them, and that's important. You want to know your state reps around, that you know who he is or she is, and that they're working for you. And Mike's somebody that does that.
That's right.
I think especially in this region that matters to us. Maybe every region says that across the country, but I think especially in the Calumet region, we want to see that. Like people who like Pete Visklosky in office, they wanted to see him. He did all those meetings, all those get-together town hall meetings, and just seeing him there answering questions, even if his answers did not resonate with you or did not matter, or you didn't understand them. Pete was here. You could always address it.
Yeah, I always thought those were where residents went and constituents went to throw tomatoes at Pete. And
they never did.
Right.
Yeah, good for Mike. I think Chris Chung has a tight race too. He's leading really close, and we'll see.
Hal wants his seat back, right?
He does, and we'll see. I don't know if there was any type of momentum behind his campaign this time around, but I don't think Chris did anything to hurt himself over the last 2 years down in Indianapolis, if anything to help himself.
Well, Mr. Slager is certainly more appreciative of the race now, isn't he?
Yeah,
than he was
or of the position as well.
That's
right?
what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
It's a little after top of the hour, so I do want to remind everybody of our sponsors of the podcast: Pinnacle Concrete, Shoop's Hamburgers, Kyle Dempsey State Farm Insurance Agency, the Region News Source. Check them out on Facebook under Region News Source. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, and Bob's Plastering and Painting. Thanks to all of our sponsors for coming on board for this election night special on Left to Center. We're rotating people in and out. Our illustrious mayor is back in the house without headphones. But
I'm not the mayor of Munster.
No, you're not.
This is true.
You're just lucky to get in and out safely.
Hey, Mayor, you want my headphones?
It's all right, man.
All right, we have
You
four
look good.
attorneys in the room here. Nobody's going to be able to.
Whoa.
Lindsey has just showed me how to
That's
use
true.
the headphones. Thank you, Lindsey.
Give that man a pair of
I appreciate
headphones.
that.
I think
Yeah.
Steve had
Yeah,
him
Steve
like,
wasn't even
on his-
wearing
he had
them
him on
right.
his, he had him on his head and chin. He had him,
Talking
he had
into
him
the
vertically.
earpiece.
I think one was on his chin.
I
and
thought they were just for cosmetics to make me look better. You know, that's
Steve, you look good in headphones.
All right, I got a couple races I want to
All right, here
update
we
you
go.
guys. Have you updated on? We have a big race for a friend of ours in Indiana's 5th congressional
Yes,
district.
just updated
She's a
that.
region girl. You did?
But go ahead. You might have new ones.
She's a region girl. Christina Hale grew up in Michigan City.
Latina.
Huh? Yeah, she's a
she is.
she's
Cubana.
a Latina.
Wait,
Yeah,
Cubana.
her
See.
grandmother's Cuban. She's a
Yep.
great friend of myself, the administration. She's a great region girl that lives in Indy now, running for Congress in the 5th district, which is a tough district. Right now, with 40% of the vote almost in, she is clinging to a 2% lead. And
With the Libertarian taking 3%, we mentioned. So that's good news for Christina.
And when
if
she
that
was in the
goes
state
up.
house as our state rep, she lived in a Republican district as
Yeah,
well.
Tough
And
district. Yeah,
she did.
87
She's
or
used
whatever
to
it was. I
this.
forget
I mean,
the number.
she's
perfect for it.
she's very effective.
Yeah.
She is like
She's likable. You meet her,
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to vote for her,
And
no doubt.
She's very ambitious and smart. And right now they just updated. It's literally 40% of the vote in. Christina is clinging to a 3,000, 4,000.
That reminds
vote
me
lead.
of one of her house races. Remember that was a real tight one. I remember her
The interesting
being
thing
in
about
contact
this,
with us.
Kev, is shows you which counties have reported.
Mhm.
And right now, Marion County, where she was going to do well, has got 40% of the vote in, and she's killing it in Marion. And everywhere else outside of there is tough for her.
Yeah.
So like
Is Marion all in or just 40%?
Hamilton
of Marion?
County's got 64% of the vote in, and Christina did decent there. She lost 45 to 52. Marion County reported only 40% of the vote, and she's winning 72 to 25. So the question is Marion County going
Run
to
up
carry
the
the
vote.
day? Yeah. I
She
think
needs to tread water outside. And
then you have a couple counties like Boone County 100% in, Blackford County 100% in, Grant County 0% in. I don't know how much that is. Hamilton County 64% in, Howard County 18% in, and
Any other races showing anything for Democrats, like for
Well-
Jonathan or anything like that?
well,
or-
I got Jonathan's latest numbers, and Jonathan Winesapple, friend of mine, former mayor of Evansville, 35% of the vote in, running against Munster's very own Todd Rokita. Jonathan is losing in a healthy manner right now with 35% of the vote in. I don't think Lake County is a part of this, so I'm not going to spell doom and gloom, because Lake County, I imagine we're not part of this yet, because keep in mind they're an hour ahead of us down there. But right now it's 59% of the vote for Todd Rokita, 41% of the vote for Jonathan Winesapple for Indiana Attorney General. Those are the two updates I have at this point.
You got better updates than I have. I've been checking out the
It's
Secretary
because I was
of
out
State
there. You guys
website.
are in here bullshitting. I'm
Yeah,
out
we
there
are.
working,
Is that
you know?
right?
Yeah.
It's all true.
I'm
Anything,
out there.
anything
I got my
now-
freaking iPad.
Mayor
with
Tom's
me.
out there working.
That's
right.
something. When you have your iPad with you, that's
Dude,
saying
I can't-
something.
I ain't messing around. I come
see
walking in
that.
with my freaking iPad.
You're not messing around.
That's right. That's right. What have you guys been talking about? I haven't.
We've been talking about immigration as a
Nice,
national issue. We've been
nice.
talking about certain races around here. We talked about the Gary School race. That's been
Any
it's
word on
53. Yeah, 53-46. Yes.
Nice.
So that's big for Gary if that goes through.
That's great
Yes,
for
I mean,
Gary.
as you know, urban
It's imperative.
areas are tough to get those through. There's some national numbers right now for you, Mayor. Michigan with just 1% reporting. Obviously, that's a little low to call anything. I thought Ohio is really interesting, but I think we don't know where that's reporting. John, have you heard anything on where that's reporting from? We got 44% of the vote in right now in Ohio, and Biden's got a strong lead. It's about 12%, but that can't be all the areas where Trump's strong.
So I was at a conference maybe a year ago and met the county, I forget her name, county clerk for the county where Toledo's at. And she was like, Ohio's going to be totally different. The rising Hispanic vote in that Toledo area is just going to change that map in the state. So we'll see today if that's going to be
Interesting.
something that happens.
What is it? Ohio has predicted the president accurately, going way back, right?
Yeah, I
Kevin,
forget.
I know
Maybe
you-
wrong once. I think that's right. But
I think Ohio is pretty much.
It's always a barometer.
Yeah, if you win
almost
Ohio,
universally.
right? If you win Ohio, you win.
Well, I've been doing it since 1981 myself. So,
Yeah? Nice.
See, you know who's got to get it.
At 1 year old, I said. I don't
Nice.
know. Who was
You got a
running
streak?
back then?
Where's Florida right now, John? Can you scroll that down, Linz?
Florida is
Wow.
is pulling to Trump.
86% reporting with 50.5%. Oh, wow. Trump's pulling away a little bit.
Yeah.
That's big for the president. If Trump pulls Florida, that is huge for him. Because now all of a sudden it comes into, you're talking about the blue wall. I believe if he keeps everything else like Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, and Texas, then he only needs one of the 3 Midwest states. If
We
I'm
need
not, if I'm
Pennsylvania.
not mistaken, then John, right?
Pennsylvania's key.
Pennsylvania will become the state.
That is going to be disappointing for Vice President Biden if Trump pulls away and is declared the winner in Florida, which it looks like he's going to be. Yeah, he actually just pulled away a little more. Now it's
Is that automatically updating?
You know what, Lindsey?
Look at you.
The weird
Damn,
thing,
man, we
hey,
got some
Linz,
high tech shit going on in here. That's
hit
pretty
refresh
nice.
on that. They
I like
they
it.
just switched that. It went from 83% reporting to 77% reporting in Florida.
What's up, Kev?
Oh, that is weird.
Kev's coming back
Kevin's
in.
coming back in. Who's
You
back?
rotate out?
We rotate.
By the way, Texas 25%
Kevin,
reporting.
here.
It's practically
Stay
a
on,
tie.
stay on, Steve.
So.
I'll bounce out and find some more.
What was that about
numbers.
Texas?
Over here, Kev.
Texas 25% reporting, and it's virtually a tie. Interesting.
Great. There were some numbers on Pennsylvania too. I thought the map had it
Go out here
blue.
to research.
So
yeah, it's 3% reporting
Tom,
in
see what you
Pennsylvania.
can find out of Florida because the numbers keep bouncing.
North Carolina with 55% in, Biden had a 12-point lead.
55% in North Carolina? And
Biden-
we're showing 1% in here,
Yeah.
so something's
Well,
up.
I was just in the conference room watching it on national TV.
And they said 55% in.
55% in, and Biden had a 12-point lead
In North Carolina.
in North Carolina.
All right, so that changes things, right? Because if things stay as is with the president pulling in and taking Florida, getting North Carolina away from him, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, no, if Biden wins Georgia, North Carolina, or Florida, one of those three, it's over.
If
Or
he
Arizona.
If he holds up north.
Yes.
If he holds up north.
If he holds up north. But, I mean, Ohio is coming into play. Biden.
I can't believe I saw the number. I
I
can't,
can't
believe it.
all along the lake.
Well, that's Cleveland,
Well,
right?
Those
Cleveland and
counties,
Toledo.
but those counties went Trump last year.
Yeah.
Or 4 years ago. And, I mean, they weren't even talking about Ohio that much in play until about 2-3 days ago.
Right.
But, you know, every election, guys, I've seen it from time on time. It's something happens that nobody expects, right? And you sit there and you say, well, how the heck did Texas go blue? Well, guess what? You never know tonight. It might go blue.
And the latest update for Ohio, by the way, is 55% for Biden, 43% for Trump, with 45% of the vote in.
Wow,
that's a lot of number.
Yeah, and he has to make up quite a bit then.
Yeah, he does. That's
lead.
300,000 votes he's got to make up.
I got to say, Marissa gave me a gumball today.
Nice of her.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So, but the best thing about a podcast is I can have a beer.
You can have a beer. You can do whatever you want. Well, you can do almost anything you want in here, Kev.
Not everything. I mean, we got to consent, I think.
Scoot up to
right?
that table,
You can do any damn thing you want.
I want to get you in that shot.
Get your pretty
You're the most
face
handsome
in there.
guy in this room.
I just had to
By
cuss
far.
on the podcast.
By far.
Get my box score in.
Okay, so here, Kev, I want to give you. So this is like a Mad Lib, I guess. I want to tell you the best story I heard down in Crown Point today. And since you're an East Chicago guy, and I guess we're all East, right? I mean,
I was born at St. Catherine Hospital.
My mom grew up in the harbor. Alfredo's folks are
From the harbor.
From the harbor.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. Ready? 4 facts that came out of East Chicago 8 today. I'm just going to say what the facts are, and you fill in the blanks. Ready? Here we go. East Chicago number 8. That's the polling place. A Trump T-shirt, a knife, and a pumpkin.
All the same guy. All the same guy.
I think there's 2 people, but this all occurred today. Apparently, a pumpkin was stabbed because a guy with a Trump T-shirt walked into East Chicago 8. So,
Yes.
I mean, and I heard the comment I heard was, he's lucky that's all that happened to him in East Chicago 8.
Oh, listen, if you think about that one, I mean, if Donald Trump got, well, I shouldn't say that. You know, he was polling pretty well on Hispanic men older than 40 years old. He was doing it.
What's pretty well?
And he always does.
What's pretty well?
Like they said something like 26, 28%.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump pulls 35 to 40% of the vote in Hammond. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either.
No.
You know,
You feel that way?
Yeah.
Yep. Because Hammond's weird. It's like it votes the person, and they've elected Republican mayors for where Tom's dad threw Dietlow.
Right.
You know, Dietlow beat Philpott. He beat twice, I think, or at least once, right?
Although, Kevin, I will disagree because on Friday night at Trunk or Treat, Kevin, one of the two of us wore the Trump mask, and the other wore the Biden mask at the end. And what would you say?
Steve was Trump. He almost got run over.
I was Trump. I almost got run over. What would you say the percentage of jeers were, Kevin?
I would say probably 3-1 jeer to Trump.
3-1 jeers to Trump.
So,
That's some exit polling for you guys.
There you go. There's some exit
And we
polling
were the
for
last.
Turkey
We were the last
Street.
vendor. Yeah. So.
Hey, Kev, when you were gone, what else are you hearing out there? Anything on the news? Anything important? that we
Florida's so what's interesting about Florida, the biggest kick of the night so far is Tom's youngest son, Patrick, because he's the numbers guy.
Yeah.
You gotta get Patrick.
So Patrick he's got his pen out and he's doing numbers and he's looking at counties, he's looking at everything, and Florida keeps going, 1 point higher for Trump, 1 point higher for Biden, and he's going county by county. To me, it was great watching.
When I was out there, the Panhandle hasn't
come in
yet, and that's where
it's an hour later, right? So it's an hour later on the close.
Panhandle's going to bring Trump
over the top.
Yeah.
Over the top.
And they said that Miami-Dade's not coming in as strong for Biden as they thought. Early, but
at the end of polling, when election ends, when the last vote is cast, according to Trump, all counting stops too.
That's I couldn't believe he said that yesterday. I was like,
stop
what?
counting, guys. The election's over. Can you believe that?
We just got an update from Ohio. 49% in now. It's 56-42 Biden.
That's huge.
I am absolutely shocked. John, are you surprised by that?
What is going on there? I mean, are these just the major, metro areas or what?
Can't tell. I mean, it's got to be major metro areas, but that's shocking. That's
Columbus, Toledo, Cleveland.
You would think, Dayton, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
Some people are saying in the comments that some people are calling Florida for Trump, but we're gonna hold out.
Okay.
See what's
and
going
also
on.
Texas with 41% in. Biden's got a 51-47 race. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's
Steve,
the game. If he wins Texas, it's
Right.
over.
Hop out and Reardon come in.
Out.
Reardon's coming back. Steve Sersic's tagging out.
You got
Time to get another sandwich, Steve.
All right, cuss counter's about to go up big time here with Reardon
right?
coming back in.
What?
The cuss counter's up.
I don't want to hear about that.
Just by you walking in, we added like 10 to it. Well,
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
It's not going to be an easy thing.
Oh, I didn't even. How'd you sneak behind me?
What?
It's not going
No.
to be easy getting Patrick on the air, but I'm going to try.
No, you
Matt,
got
how'd you get?
Hey,
how'd
do we
you
have
get
any?
in over there?
Do we have any
What? Huh?
Do we have any
What do you
updates
mean?
on the
It's not
Hammond
over
School
yet?
Board race?
It's over.
I have not got a.
It's
I've not
over.
got a
I
new count
won.
yet.
yeah,
I
and
won
folks
all
are
the
asking if
votes.
you could go through
People
the
didn't vote
local
for me.
totals
It's
again.
stupid.
Yeah, sure. Let's go through the local totals. This is the first run.
Am I in the
Gary,
local totals?
the,
Why am I not?
huge.
It's got to be huge.
Public
Did you
question,
see
Gary
Holcomb?
School Corp.
What do I care? Did they vote for
56-43 in yes for Gary. 56-43 with 71-51 to 55-51. Some more local races. This is only after the first run of everything, so I don't want to make anyone think these are the totals for the night. But in State Rep 12, Mike Andrade with 10,580 votes, Tom Lipczynski with 6,268 votes. That's 10,580 to 6,268, big lead there. In State
That's a lot
Rep
of
District
math,
15, it is a lot of math. Chris Chung, 9,449, 9,449 to Hal Slager, 9,058. That's a tight race. We're going to have to wait to see what the machine votes go there. And Lisa Beck, this is State Rep District 19. Lisa Beck with 53% of the vote, 11,191 to 46.5% of the vote for Julie Olthoff, 9,718. Gina Pimentel has a hefty lead over Rose Heil, 62% to 37%, 70,000 to 41,000. You probably have to call that for her to be our next recorder. Of course, David Pastrick, somebody's brother in the House, is unopposed.
Well, he's got to be the biggest vote getter in the county, right?
I hope so. So on those state, are you done, Kevin?
No, I wanted to touch this. This is important. This is another important race.
I'm sorry,
And
Trump.
if I'm not, something's wrong. You're cheating.
Mr. President, hold on. I'm going to be like, who was better? Welter was better than the guy from Fox News, right?
What?
Or
They were all
Kristen
terrible.
Welker was the best. But all right, quiet, Mr. President. We're going to put the mute. Can we put the mute button on the president's mic?
Yeah.
Jerry Shub, Jerry Tippy race, right? People want to know about this race. The early vote, Jerry Shub with 45% of the vote, 24,285. Jerry Tippy, the incumbent, with 54% of the vote,
Wow.
29,268. 29,298. So that's big for Commissioner Tippy, with the early vote coming in his favor, for 54 to 45. Looking at some other races, I know people asked about the Munster and the Hammond School Board races. Hammond School at large, Bill Luter, 2,482. Lisa Miller, 4,054. Cindy Murphy, 4,014, and Wilma Reed, 3,008. The top 2 vote getters there. Right now, it looks like Lisa Miller and Cindy Murphy are leading the show there. The Munster School Board, this is another important one. I know people want to know that. Munster School Board is coming in as follows. John Castro, 3,271. Ginny Dickman Lopez, 2,737. John Doherty, 3,220. Cameron Martin, 2,583. And Ingrid Schwartz-Wolf, 3,091. So the top 3 there win. And right now it's Castro, Doherty, and Schwartz-Wolf. Those are the incumbents, and they are winning. So if you need any other races.
How about the East Chicago School Board?
East Chicago School Board right now, coming up. Not many people running in that race, right?
Just about 25.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on there. I'll just do it's top 3, right? Or I'll just do them in order. Leading the show is Vanessa Coach V. Hernandez Orange with 17.85% of the vote. Coming in next is Patty Joe Gibson King with 17% of the vote.
Wow.
Followed by Deborah Bolanos with 13.91% of the vote, and then Jesse Gomez with 13.69. He's 15 votes behind Deborah Bolanos.
And how much is that in?
That is with 7,000 votes in.
This is Deborah's first.
It's not a percentage of.
No, because I can just tell you that. Well, we know that's 116,000 of the 225,000. It's all still early. All early. No machine vote yet.
That doesn't surprise me on that one. Vanessa just ran for city councilman at large. Did really well. Almost won. So the name rec's out there. She's been a school board member. But Debbie Bolaños, who's been involved for decades in East Chicago in the community, going third.
Yep.
Hopefully she could hold on.
And Jesse's a former school board president, and he's coming in. So
that's amazing. What doesn't surprise me is my winning percentage in Indiana.
So one thing
can't
you
really
mentioned,
hear you through the mask.
Yeah, you got to take off the mask, but
time to come back, Reardon.
One thing you're going to look at, Kevin, is
thank you
is the campaign finance reports of the state rep races afterwards. I think the amount of money poured into 19 and 12 is going to just be astonishing.
It is going to be astonishing. It's more than we're used to seeing.
And people are going to have to realize that's not money from the district, right? That's money all outside from the district.
Absolutely.
So influence outside the district. It's crazy how much.
Mara used to face $1 million. They used to put together $1 million to run against her when she was an incumbent.
Chase McDermott just sat down, a newly christened attorney. We're sorry about that, Chase. But welcome to the welcome to the crowd.
What are you at? Are you still
you sleeping much or no?
I'm sleeping all right.
Keep those billable hours up.
I was going to say, what are you?
A lot more sleep than I did when I was studying for the bar.
What are you, $250 an hour? Or are you $150? What are you starting at?
You don't
know
I don't
yet?
want to get too specific.
Good.
I'm not
it's
sure.
off to a good start, Kevin.
Just tell them, Chase. It depends on the client and how much money they got. When you're a new attorney, that's how you do it, right?
Trump might want to retain you.
Free consultations at Smith Sersic.
Free consultation at any time.
Actually, let's do one now. Actually, Chase, he wants a free consultation.
I gotta jump in here, guys, real quick. Yep. So some weird stuff happening. 50% reporting in Texas, 50% Biden, 48% Trump.
Wow.
30% in Kansas, 54% Biden, 44% Trump.
Holy
what?
Wow, John, that's something, right?
Weird.
What's
right?
up with Kansas?
What about John? Anything up in Ohio? Any update from Ohio?
Ohio 51% reporting, 55 Biden, 43 Trump.
Wow, how does he make that up?
He doesn't.
John, are you
by cheating?
Well, I want to hear from. Obviously, John supports the president. And I want to hear. Just what do you think, John?
I don't think anything right now. It's just
waiting.
Interesting watching the numbers come in.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you could see anything.
How much
that.
in Ohio? How much percentage?
It's right there. It's 51% in.
Chase's head's in the way
with
his nice, beautiful hair.
He does have a nice
more than we have. Well,
flock mane of hair.
Reardon always has a good mane.
I have the best hair.
You can't hear Reardon with a head on.
Can't hear. My hair is tremendous. Is that a bad thing?
Nobody's ever had hair as good as me.
Nobody has better hair than I do. Hours go into it.
North Carolina is coming in. Florida's still a little bit red.
Florida's going to go red. Michigan looks like it's going to go red too.
How much votes there? Don't say that.
Only 6%.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But look at the counties that are taking it.
Yeah. We got time.
Yeah, Chase and we have a family up in Michigan, and they're commiserating right now. But Detroit's not called in yet, so that'll definitely
Grand
change
Rapids
things.
went red.
Seriously?
Why are they commiserating? What's wrong?
Because Grand Rapids went
Grand
red.
Rapids is one of the most democratic cities in
No,
Michigan.
it's one of
went
the
red.
not true. Grand Rapids is traditionally a Republican town. Jerry Ford's from there. The Gerald Ford Museum's there.
I have never met a Republican from Grand Rapids.
Lindsey, there's a Republican congressman from there.
That's the home of Amway.
It's huge.
They're used to scamming people up there. It's clearly.
So you know who else is from there? The DeVos family, Lynn. So just to give you
that's
little,
right.
I'm going to give you a little lesson.
Yeah.
It's a pretty red
history for you.
It's a red
They poured a lot
area.
of money into the downtown Grand Rapids area.
Sure they did.
But in
DeVos
Lindsey's
Auditorium.
defense, I know what she means. Like the way Grand Rapids operates,
sure.
it's very liberal, like
But it's
very artsy, and
the money there is all red, though.
Yeah,
and the history there,
that's
all
what
the
it
money
comes
there
down
is Republican money.
Can we all agree DeVos is the best education?
Betsy DeVos has just been killing it.
Yeah. She's well liked.
Do you guys need Trump to comment on that? Are we all good? That she's
I think
great?
we're good.
We're
good.
She's tremendous.
Even John's sarcasm showed through on that.
She's really got a handle on things.
I like John. You know, John's got his Kanye hat on.
What do we got in Pennsylvania?
I voted Kanye.
You voted Kanye.
Just want everybody to know.
Hey,
Kanye?
let me ask you a question.
Did you write anybody in today, Kevin?
I did
Anybody
not.
in the room?
I did not.
No.
I did not write anybody.
I
in.
did.
Did you?
Oh,
Kanye?
yeah.
Mara Reardon?
Maybe.
Put your headphones on, Mr. President. Get those headphones on.
Oh, sorry.
I think the big head was prohibiting the headphones.
My big
from coming
head was in the way because it's a giant brain.
So, John, have there been any other calls? It looks like nothing significant right at this point.
So what's up with the school board? I like that. And Gary, it seems like there's a good turnout, all BS aside. I think that was one of the problems Gary ran into when they voted that down. I think it says a lot. I know it says a lot to the development community, the outside community, and those people looking to make investments, that when you have jurisdictions that really choose not to invest in themselves, that's a problem. So why would you want to go around and start throwing money around in a place that won't invest in themselves? I think there's been a marked change in the way the mayors approach things there. I see there's some council people that are getting a little bit riled up. I think you're going to have that.
I think it's a good sign.
It might be because of the lawsuit that they're getting riled up. I'm not sure. Start suing your.
If Gary votes
council.
yes on that, I think that's a good sign for Gary.
I think it's a great sign for Gary. I mean, they really, you look at, and Dave Kuziak and I used to talk about it all the time, like, well, hey, man, if you don't want an education, then don't expect anybody to invest where you will not. And you look at where and what and the communities that have voted it down and where people are making investments.
Did it take Munster twice?
No.
They voted they voted yes twice.
They
That's
voted
right.
yes 2 times.
Lake Central
was
no and yes.
No and yes.
Hammond, yes.
Yes. Crown Point, yes. Valpo, yes. Chesterton, yes.
Hanover, yes.
Yes.
And Gary was no, and now they might be yes. And East Chicago was barely no, I think.
Barely
no. Barely no.
With 90%.
Like if you hustled. I mean, that's the thing about. I try and explain how those referendums work financially on people, and I try and remind them, like, these giant companies that are in your community, they're paying 90% of what's necessary. You're paying a minute amount, and you tell people, like, well, that's not true. I'm going to have to pay $10 more a month. I'm like, well, yeah, you are, but they're paying the lion's share.
Speaking of school board, Matt,
what do we got?
We've been asked for some Crown Point numbers. These are initial numbers just from the early walk-in vote and a lot of the mail-in votes. Crown Point School Board District 2, Scott Babiak has 6103 versus Tara Tauber Shaw, 4485. So that's 57% for Scott Babiak, 42% for Tara Tauber Shaw. Crown Point School Board District 3, Scott Angel, 59% of the vote. John Freyek with 40% of the vote, 6,044 to 4,046. And Crown Point School Board at large, Andrew Shee with 42% of the vote, and Brian Smith with 58% of the vote. That's 41-29 to 57-15. So those are our Crown Point numbers right there. We'll, of course, get you some more numbers as soon as we get them in. Chase, what's your take on the night so far?
I'm liking what I'm seeing as a Biden supporter. I was not feeling confident at all about Ohio, but seeing where Ohio's at. But my prize jewel would be if Texas can somehow possibly flip blue. But because I don't want to sit around in litigation for 2 weeks. If Texas
right.
turns blue,
if Texas, Kansas, and Ohio and North Carolina stay where they're at, I mean it's over. Now it's interesting. Michigan actually went from blue, now it's a little bit pink, so it's changing. Here you go. That's great. With 8% reporting. Donald Trump, our president, 58% of the vote. Joe Biden, 40%. So that's early in Michigan, but that's interesting. With 47% reporting in Texas, Joe Biden's up 50% to 48%. He's up about 93,000 votes, so not much there. Let me see Ohio real quick. 52% reporting, 55% for Joe Biden, 43% for Donald Trump. That is shocking.
Where the hell are the other votes going? Is there some kind
don't
of
know what's
third-party
going on in
dude on the
Ohio.
ballot?
I mean, if we can get
They're
anything
writing
else,
Kanye.
if we can
They're
get
voting
anything
Kanye?
else, then
What up?
Hey,
Ohio.
Vesmar,
We have Vera back.
Who's going to have more write-in votes? Harambe last election or Kanye this election?
Kanye this election.
Kanye's going to wipe the floor with Harambe.
I think so.
Is there? What about Joe Walsh? Is he non-factor this go around? Been good to me so far.
Joe Walsh.
Is he running? He's dead, isn't he?
No, not that Joe Walsh.
Oh,
The singer Joe Walsh.
What was that?
He's always on the
Oh,
ballot.
right. Yeah.
Is it your phone?
Not the Joe Walsh
not
that did the crime show. Not that one.
Not
the
that
singer,
He
Joe
was
Walsh.
Joe
The
Walsh?
crazy one.
Who's
Yeah.
Joe Walsh that did the crime show?
That was also a guy by the
That
name
was
of
a
Joe
Walsh.
Walsh.
Thanks
Yes.
for letting me sit down with you guys.
All right, Chase.
Make
Thanks,
my
good seeing
left
you.
of center debut.
back to work,
Pennsylvania,
Chase.
6%.
You got some hours to bill. So Chase, back to work.
Pennsylvania, 6% reporting, 80% Joe Biden.
You know, we just talked a little bit about Gary, and this is a perfect time for one of our favorite councilmen from the Steel City coming into the House. Councilman,
How are
it is
you?
great to see William
It's
Godwin
good
back
to be
here
here.
at the Left of Center pod. It seems like we were just talking to you recently.
I know, less than a month.
So we were talking about, I don't know if that, John, we got a good, I know he doesn't have headphones. We got good sound with the councilman.
Just get close to that mic.
Councilman, tell us a little bit about what your take is on the school board referendum. It looks like it's winning right now, 53-43.
I think it's going to pass.
How do you feel about that? You know, Matt just said, I don't know if you heard him, he was just saying that it's important when you're talking about a city to be able to say, the city wanted to invest in itself, so come do business here.
Absolutely. I'm a realtor, so I get it. People want to move to places that have great schools. And it was not an easy decision for me. I represent a district that last time voted against it 3-1 or 2.
Well, and you're in a
district
district where a lot of the taxes,
high property values.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks will have to pay $1,000, $2,000.
And you represent the Miller area.
Exactly.
I should have known where you're at on it. You got your okay. I don't know if anybody can see this. John, you got the councilman's hat in the shot,
sure
man. He's
do.
got his Gary School referendum
That's
vote
right.
yes.
Wow.
So we
I
were
guess you
out
gave
today.
away where you're at.
But you know what? This year, unlike 2016 and 2015, there was a concerted effort. 5 of the 6 district councilpersons in Gary, we passed a resolution on the council floor, and Councilman at Large Ron Brewer also supported it. So we had 6 council people, which was
They were
which was
behind
big.
it, unlike last time.
Yeah, and you had state senator, you had state rep Vernon Smith. So it was really an all-out coordinated effort. The pastors and preachers, the Baptist Ministers Alliance, very involved from the beginning.
So what's your, obviously the Gary schools have, they're being run by an administrator from the state. So is the goal to get back the independence of the Gary schools from that administrator? Do you think that's the ultimate goal, to get it back into the community and run by the community?
Yes, when it's ready.
And when it's ready.
And I think that's the critical piece. We don't want to take it back in shambles.
That's right.
So we know they've sold a lot of the buildings, which has been a big complaint, understandably, because there's a lot of vacant buildings. You don't want that in the community. But they've also brought down the deficit, brought down the debt.
New
There's a
track at
long
West
way to go.
Side.
New track at West Side, right?
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Absolutely.
And that's a
So-
good track program. So
Yes.
that is a big deal. New track at West Side, everybody.
So yeah, it was tough, but I'm glad I made the decision, and I hope the votes continue.
Well,
to
so
come
far
out
it looks like good
positively.
news for you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So you were probably on the ground in the Steel City today. Tell us what was going on there.
Good, solid stream of turnout throughout the city. I was obviously mainly in the first, but we had people throughout the city, and it was a great stream. We had a huge early voter turnout. in
Unbelievable,
mail-in, right?
yeah.
I mean,
At
around the
Genesis Center.
people were lined up on a lot of days.
And that's always a good
So,
sign.
Very
That's
good signs. But
Yeah.
people were
a lot of
coming.
seniors sent in their ballots through the mail. I was
Absolutely.
down at election board obviously today, and the Gary envelopes, we get them in envelopes, and you could see there was a lot of vote by mail out of Gary.
Right.
And that's a big thing too. So I think all in all, probably a good. Now, what do you say to, the taxpayers of Gary that feel like they're getting, maybe their taxes are too high, or and this is going to be an additional tax on
It
them,
is.
right?
It is. I will say I'm glad that the school corporation is going to have basically a community action council, and you have to be a resident of Gary to be on that council, so that we can continue to hold the school corporation accountable. To hey, this is what you said you were going to do, and let's see what you did in year 1, year 2, year 3. We want to have a role to play in that. We want to be able to give you feedback So that's, I think, the important transparency and communication that will make this more palatable, right? As people are writing that extra. In some cases, it's only $5 or $10 for a lot of seniors, but there are people who will be paying the extra $2,000. And I think the accountability and communication and transparency piece will make it an easier pill to swallow. And I'm hopeful that the numbers will continue to grow. They did have a positive enrollment for the first time in years this year, but hopefully the school corporation will continue to improve its academics.
Because that's important, right?
That's
critical. As the grades go up,
but you got to have good academics.
Got to have the kids there doing well to show that it's a community that's growing.
Absolutely.
What about in your district? I mean, as you mentioned, you've got a big property tax base there, a lot of high value properties along the lake. How are those folks when you talk to them about it? What do they feel about the fact that they're going to be paying? You know, if anybody's going to be paying more outside of commercial and industry, from a residential standpoint, most of the folks in Miller are probably going to bear the brunt of that.
Right. So there's definitely folks who were adamantly against it, and they were out today, and I certainly understand their concern. A lot of this is historical, right? You know, they wasted money 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 30 years ago, and they made bad decisions. They should have shut down schools years ago. So there was a lot of that. And what I'm trying to convey is let's look at now. There's more financial oversight now than there's ever been. So you have the Distressed Unit Appeals Board who's looking at the numbers every month, right, in great detail. So we have oversight that has never existed before. So let's give it a chance to exist and to thrive. I wouldn't want to have $1 million house in a broken down school corporation.
No, that's right. You don't want to be. It's kind of like you want to be the richest guy on the block, and not always.
That's
right?
not good. But I think it's also my district is the most diverse economically in the city because we do have a lot of homes that are worth $10,000 and $15,000 and $20,000.
Yeah.
In my district.
That's an interesting point, right? I mean, there's parts of Miller that are not as wealthy as if you're living on the lake.
Absolutely. So it's big diversity, and of course there were folks who do live on the lake who were supporters of the school referendum. So I'm not going to mislead you and suggest that most of them were supporters, but certainly there was a strong vocal group of folks who are high property taxpayers. In fact, one person owns 2 homes on the lake.
No kidding.
Exactly.
He's paying double.
Exactly. And they had support Gary School signs in their front yard. So
what do you think about the presidential
nail
race
biter?
Today?
But I think Biden is going to
Lindsey,
pull it
can we
out.
get that up again? We haven't seen it for a little bit, but let's see where we're at here.
85-61. I'm predicting somewhere along the.
I'll say.
279. Was it 279?
Some 59
is what I was predicting.
All right. Well, there you go. Write it down.
I think
Councilman Godwin's at 279.
I'll
I'll tell you some of the surprises that actually John was just talking about a little bit ago. Kansas is coming in right now for Biden early with 37% reporting. I don't know if this is refreshed or not. I think that was the number we had last time. I assume this is maybe refreshing as we speak. Lindsey says yes. Texas was in the 30% reporting. I don't know where it's at now. Lindsey, can you go over Texas, please? Yeah, we're at 49% reporting. It's basically a tie.
I'd love to know Harris County, Houston.
Yeah, I wonder if it's in or not yet, right? That's going to be
Houston and Austin.
Absolutely, those are going to be critical. How about Ohio? Where are we at? Is that still? This is something. 53% in, and it's a 10-point lead for the
Cuyahoga County.
Yeah, we're waiting. Or Toledo.
Yep.
Yeah, and then what about North Carolina? Is that still really early with the 69% reporting?
Wow. Because to me, with the 15 electoral votes, I don't like what Michigan is saying right now. We got to look at what the report is. But that really, in my analysis, I had Trump winning Florida.
Okay.
And I had Biden losing North Carolina. But winning Michigan.
Yeah, all right. What are we at in Georgia? And then we'll go to John because I think he had. So, John, okay, so this is with 27% in Georgia. Same thing here. You're wondering where the vote's coming. If Atlanta's not in yet, that doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest African American concentrations in the country.
A lot of movement.
I think I heard 1/3 of the electorate in Georgia in that county is African American, or in Georgia rather.
Right.
So,
well, it's been a lot of folks have moved to Georgia. A lot of folks from this region who are Democrats have moved to Georgia.
Absolutely, so. Mayor's coming in. I'm rolling out.
So we got a little bit of an update in Ohio. Biden's up by 11.53% of the vote in. Don't know what counties.
Means, yeah.
You know what? That's the hard part. You're like, where's it coming from?
I think one of the websites lets you kind of double down a little bit. You can look at the county by county analysis.
Hey. What's up, everybody?
There he is.
What's up?
The mayor.
What you guys been talking about? I'm over there trying to concentrate. And everybody's, you really?
Yeah.
My cuss counter's a lot higher than when I left. What's up? I don't really have any new news. I know my boy Wine's Apple's still losing.
Yeah, Christine Hale leads with 50% reporting.
Yeah, it looked like she's pulling away a little.
Yeah.
That'd be another pickup. Yeah.
Three Democratic congressional.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, that'll make 3.
Right.
Because Indiana's drawn to be 1, Marion County's drawn to be 2.
Yep.
The rest of them weren't drawn to be D's, but that's good to pick one up for sure.
We'll take it.
Wine's Apple's getting.
How?
He's getting a beat
Why?
down. I just don't get it, man. Because he's a good candidate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he worked really hard. He did what he's supposed to do, and right now it's 50% of the vote almost, and he's down 20%.
When was the last time there's been a statewide Democratic elected official in Indiana?
Glenda Ritz.
Yeah, but that was a fluke, right?
Teachers got pissed.
You're right, but that wasn't. Was that a really okay? But what was the one before that?
That wasn't political.
That was almost a fluke.
Teacher
right?
got pissed.
Right.
Okay, so what was the last one that was actually elected based on their credentials?
Yeah, that's
Joe Donnelly.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
that was a fluke.
Fluke because
because
the freak gem guy talked about it was okay to rape women.
Because God wanted it. Yeah.
So that
it's almost like
an
Alabama situation,
dude.
with
Jones.
Doug Jones.
Yeah, right.
Fluke.
Right, fluke. But that's our last 2 candidates was a total fluke wins.
But outside of that, it's been great.
Well, who's before that? Like this is pretty goddamn depressing.
Frank O'Bannon, right? We know that.
Well, yeah, and then you had Evan Bayh.
U.S. Senator Bayh.
There you go. That would be the last one.
So
we're talking like
20 years ago.
2010, he resigned.
Yeah, forever.
And then, by the way, the shit got real after he resigned too.
Right.
Like in 2010, that was like he knew it was coming.
Tea Party.
Mm-hmm. And it
all
hasn't.
of it.
And it's been like that ever
Hasn't
since.
recovered yet.
Yep.
Interesting. So what do you think the answer is?
Gerrymandering is a big part of it. I know Matt and I feel the same way about that, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Allowing the senators and the reps to pick their voters is not the way it's supposed to work.
Right.
So it allows them to go in and be assholes, quite frankly.
Create a power system.
Yeah, and they could be as extreme as they want. They don't have to work with the other side at all, and they're rewarded for it.
That's got to be a miserable job.
Oh man, being
state legislature.
Can you imagine?
You don't have to even.
Well,
show
like
up.
think about Senator Melton. What is it? 41-9.
Yeah, he's got a
stressful
job.
Can you imagine?
You're on a million committees.
You have no chance to like really pass anything unless you're like totally like getting help from the Republicans, which doesn't happen very often.
They don't need
Well,
you.
I think Matt probably has to hear that all the time.
Yeah.
His wife.
Firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the Mara's success really was rooted in the ability to work with the other party. I mean, otherwise, there are people in Lake County that take a hard line and they try all that bullshit. That goes nowhere. In Indianapolis, they're like, what are you talking about? Have a seat. Yeah, you're going to win whatever you are or whatever you come from in that district. You're going to win a Democrat. We don't give a shit.
Right.
And, the 12th district's a little different the way they drew it. They took out Hispanic votes. It's South Hammond, Munster, Highland, and Griffith. And so that's kind of about a middle-of-the-road district as you're going to find in the state. And they still drew the damn thing, so it's more Republican than Democrat.
Hey,
so
I think we got an update.
Yeah, I want to. Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to bust in here. We got some new numbers. So this is with 107.
This is Lake County?
This is Lake County numbers. 107 precincts reporting out of 357 precincts reporting. So that means there's 222 precincts out. This usually means, at least just knowing from how elections run down in the county, this means mostly South County precincts are coming in. So probably the Gary Airport and the Wicker Park, meaning like most of North County is probably not in yet. So these are South County numbers, I would think. However, we do have some updates. We actually have an update from the public question in Gary. It's 58-41 now, Councilman.
Wow.
You'll be happy to hear that.
58-41?
58-41
wow.
is
That's
where
great.
that's at. Now, of
Good
course,
job.
we probably don't have a lot of Gary Airport precincts in, at least machines, but that's where we're at.
But that's a good start.
It's a good sign. And as you know,
Absolutely.
Mayor, we like to use the early vote as a bellwether, especially if it's heavy. And this is holding with the Mike Andrade race. We called this a while ago. But Mike just continues his dominance in that race. It's 60-40 now, 12,800 votes to 8,200.
And Mike Andrade deserves every vote he got. That kid worked his ass off.
We're called that.
Yep. So
yeah, we're
awesome.
calling that.
Yeah.
Mike Andrade's a winner.
Representative Andrade. It's got a nice ring to
excellent.
Now, this is a flip, everybody. This is important. On the Chris Chung race, Chris now is behind 48.5% of the vote to 51.5% of the vote. 11,328 for Chris Chung. 12,021 for Hal Slager. So it's tight, but that's where we're at. I don't know how much is out in that, race.
That kid is impressive.
Yep.
He is, and it was tight last time. He won by 82 votes.
That's
but
right.
you'd rather be tight up than tight down.
Right.
And it sounds like he's a couple thousand down.
No, he's 600 down.
Okay,
600 down. So
well, hopefully we have some good precincts out there still.
What's the percentage?
That's we don't know yet. We just know that 107 precincts are reporting out of 329 or something like
Tell
that.
you what,
so
man.
we just don't know where they're from.
Chris Chung is the real freaking deal, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was impressive what he did 2 years ago.
Hell yeah, it was, right?
You know,
and then
I
you talk
was,
to the guy, I'm like, damn, he reminds me. He has like a Buttigieg quality about him.
I'd be surprised if he wins. I really would.
Well, that's the most gerrymandered seat in the whole state.
I would think that the Palace-Slager people didn't get caught sleeping.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Not twice.
I expected Andrade to win in the 12th, and I think Beck's got her hand full down in Crown Point. I really believe so.
Well, here's
again,
where we're at. You want to hear those updates?
Yeah, let's hear where that's
This is tightening. And, of course, this is only Lake County because there is
there's
Porter County involved in this.
Right.
And I think Lisa...
Porter County's going
and Julie
hard
have gone
today,
back
though.
and forth. Yeah, they
Porter
are.
County's gone hard today.
So Lisa Beck, 13,636 votes. Julie Altoff, 13,598.
Wow.
So we're talking about a
Holy
38-vote lead for Lisa.
Without taking into Porter County.
Taking into account Porter County. Also, some important races: Jerry Shub and Jerry Tippie.
Jerry's.
Commissioner Tippie is extending. He's the incumbent, extending his lead over Jerry Shub, 57% to 42%, 38,964 to 29.
That is not a shock. That is not a shock.
No.
Vera, are you shocked on that?
I'm just surprised. Jerry was working hard. I think he's got a small fan base, and I thought they were working for him.
He is.
Jerry,
well, they
Jerry's
probably
a
did, but I think Jerry Tippie...
You can't.
He is a good campaigner.
You can't beat the numbers. You
that's
just
a gerrymander
can't
dude.
do it.
But Jerry's good, but he's also like I heard the guy talking the other day. He was like, back in 1992, we did this, and it's like,
All right,
dude,
well, that's
I was
true.
in a freaking submarine in 1992.
Right,
He's
it's
still
like,
talking
dude.
about it like it's applicable.
That's true. I heard him give a speech saying, calling himself middle-aged, and I was wondering how long he planned on living. So it's
middle-aged, holy shit!
Real quick, some.
right?
I know that,
What else you got?
I know that people have asked about the school board races. Real quick, I'll run through them. Crown Point District 2, Scott Babiak continues to lead Tara Shaw, 59 to 40. Scott Angel leading John Frayak, 59 to 40. And that's their percentages. And Andrew Shee is losing to Brian Smith, 59 to 40. In East Chicago, top three right now. Vanessa Coach V. Hernandez Orange with 18.22% of the vote. Patty Jo Gibson King, 16.5% of the vote. That's 1315 to 1192. And in third place, with a 4-vote lead, Jesse Gomez, 1012.
Boy, right there.
Deborah Bolanos, 1008. So 4 votes. It's real tight there. And in Hammond, the 2 top vote getters pretty much going to win this thing, it looks like. Lisa Miller, 5913. Lucinda Murphy, 5493. Wilma Reed, 4421. And Bill Luter, 3741. So that's it. Top 2 win that.
Wow.
No change in Munster, by the way. Munster was the other one people asked about. The incumbents are winning: Castro, Doherty, and Schwartz-Wolf.
Thank you.
What are you seeing in South County? I
What do you
mean,
mean?
as more Illinoisans, especially from the Chicago suburbs, many of whom are escaping taxes, are moving to Indiana, mostly.
You're right.
How is that playing into the Jerry Tippies of the world?
That's a good question,
A lot of
William.
these districts where even people who may have been Illinois Democrats might be a little bit more open-minded. I mean, they've made a bold decision to leave the state, right, and come here. I wonder how that's going to play. How is it currently playing, and how is it going to play?
When I was chairman, I always looked at everything south of 30 as not friendly. Like, and not outside of Crown Point, I always felt like we had a chance there. But, like, if it was not Crown Point and it was south of 30, I almost sort of wrote it off mentally. Not that we weren't going to work there, but I agree with you. With all the migration coming from Illinois, I imagine a lot of the new Hoosiers are, carry Democratic tendencies, and hopefully we could start to change it, Because
that's a key group.
Do you see that, Vera? I know Vera's real.
I was going to say, I don't think it's just South County. You have to see that in your own city. People are crossing over that state line. They want to be in Indiana because they are paying lower taxes. But, yeah, they're migrating. You can't, housing here is really become almost like a niche. If you can find a house, you're lucky.
It's on fire.
Because as soon
as
soon as they go on the market, they go,
You see
you're
that.
in real estate, you see that.
Right.
And they're mostly coming from Illinois.
And they're coming from Illinois, yeah.
But that's interesting. Another question you ask about if that's going to, because at least in Hammond, it's Democrats for Democrats typically. We're a Democratic city. Maybe we're getting more Democrat, but that's an interesting question.
St. John's,
right? All these new, that's right. These Republican strongholds now,
Right.
Right. or Cedar Lakes, places where we don't really. Yeah, Lowell, maybe 10 years down the road, you're right.
But
we're winning
the
this.
party has to be strategic in the outreach.
That's
and
funny.
in the messaging.
That's a great point.
Right?
I like it.
Lowell's had Democrats down there before.
Yeah, Phil Kuiper.
My man, Phil Kuiper.
Yeah, I love Phil Kuiper, right?
They've had but those Democrats are also converting to Republicans. We just had that happen a couple of weeks ago.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, how did Donald Trump end up on my side, man?
I had the face on. I had it on for a little while. We were doing some commentary.
It was a tough area. That was a tough area to be chairman.
Yeah. I was out there Sunday, and it was Trump flags, big trucks. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's more like regular Indiana down there as far as like politically.
Regular Indiana.
Yeah, right. Very conservative.
It's like a
right?
little, it's surrounded.
That's a good way to put it.
It's true though, right?
I'm not disputing.
Yeah, I know, but like when you get down there, it's a lot more like 2 hours to the south in a rural area. Right. It's very similar.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. What do you got, Matt?
I'm getting some information that Trump's up in Florida, but there's some hesitancy to call that at this juncture. So,
oh my God,
get some information. I
just got bad news on Christina Hill. She just got leapfrogged. 58.4% of the vote. Christina Hill's down 3,000 now. Like all of a sudden, she's down.
That's tough to win that district. Lay it out.
40% of the vote to come in.
So and Marion County still not even half the vote, and Hamilton County is still out there. But like, it's weird. She just got leapfrogged, like suddenly, like leapfrogged.
A couple of counties came in, or a couple of districts. You know what I mean?
This is when you want to hold back, right? If you're playing games, right?
Yeah, you're like, okay, but with that, the votes are already done. You just want to know what they are. I mean, who's screwing it up and why? Get it out there,
or doing it on purpose.
Yeah, right. Let's just drag this out and. We don't want to show anybody else. I mean, the vote polls are closed in everywhere, correct?
Yeah, now. In the country now, yeah.
So now they're closed. So, that kind of shit doesn't matter anymore. I mean, I've never been a big fan of having a diatribe about, voting and how it works and how it may disenfranchise people from the West because, they've been like, forget it. I'm not going to go do it. Biden lost Ohio or whatever the story is, or Trump lost this. I'm not going to bother. I think that's garbage. You gotta just keep that under your hat.
If I could take a minute and go to the other end of the spectrum, I've got some like local counts that I talk about. Whiting, Indiana, right?
Yeah,
beautiful little city here on the lake. They are at 100% of their votes now, and they have Biden at 656 with Trump at 455.
It is over now.
Yeah.
Bam!
Good news.
Trump.
Good news.
Myers, eat that, Mr. President.
They had Myers at 642 with Holcomb at 413. I mean, these are good Democrats down there. You've got, Winesapple at 687 with Rakita at 400, and Mervan at 785 with Leyva at 292. I also have Lake Station.
What's up
in
Lake Station?
Yeah, well, Lake Station's your kind of town because you got Biden at 100%. You've with 1277 and Trump at 1735.
Holy cow!
That's
Trump
crazy.
freaking won Lake Station.
I can't. Yeah.
These are machines. These
yes.
are today.
Dude.
These are machines.
Not early.
But that's not counting early.
No,
vote.
not the early
okay,
votes.
Okay,
Just the machines.
That makes me feel better.
Yes.
Right. Because they have a really progressive Democratic mayor in Lake Station. He's a badass, right?
Yeah.
Have you met him?
Yeah.
Mayor Carroll.
We kind of border.
Yeah.
My district.
Yeah, it's true. Miller. You're Miller.
He eats in our. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
No,
but he eats a lot
for
on
sure,
Lake
man.
Street.
He's a great dude. I love
Very
him.
much so.
Hey, did you see what happened in that hail race there, big guy?
What's that?
She just got leapfrogged. Christina did.
She's winning.
No, not mine. Not lately.
Oh.
Not lately.
Yeah.
Tag your it, Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin, come to the back.
I'll be back.
You'll be back.
We're going to dig deeper.
Yeah, I'll just run through these really quick,
One
and
of
then
these
you got.
websites has like the county where you can go down.
I'll bounce back to my
They're
normal
not.
spot.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not updating, so that's a problem.
I got one. With
The county?
on it.
Yeah, that's good to know. Because if we go like in Texas,
Which one are you looking for?
Texas, Harris County.
Okay.
That's gonna be
I just saw that. That's Houston, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Biden's winning.
Good.
And similarly to Hillary, like similarly.
Not better than Hillary.
4 years. No, not better.
Rude.
But I thought it was impressive that Houston and that whole area in Texas going for Biden. I thought that was impressive.
And if the voter turnout is higher, even if the percentage is similar, it could help.
I'm sure Kevin's got the latest numbers.
How are you?
He's
Good to see you.
Councilman,
Absolutely.
Kevin,
Yes,
Councilman.
congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
He's a
Thank
badass.
you.
When I had him in here, I said, "Hey, you ever gonna run for mayor?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm not." I'm like, "Dude, you never say that. You're a badass, like young, smart councilman." right? You got to be thinking like that, right?
Call me.
That's right, William. There you go. You can't say never. Don't say never, my man. Gary needs great young people. So what you got, Kevin?
All I know is, Texas is doing exceptionally well.
For Biden.
For Biden.
Right.
But listen, it's getting to the witching hour. They have
57%.
They have more than 57, don't they, for the presidential? Don't they have 60?
Refresh.
This is automatically refreshing, but it's Associated Press, so they wait to verify before they post it.
Okay.
So you guys might be getting faster results, but they might not 100% be accurate.
Dude, that's pretty cool, man. I like that. We got pretty sophisticated podcasts.
Next year, we got to have the green wall and have it behind us.
That's
here.
right. That's right.
That would be cool.
I know. I'm on it. We got to.
We got to get some TV monitors.
No, don't you just need the green wall and you could?
Oh, that's a great idea.
The green wall,
we
can do the weather.
John, what the hell, John?
We could say
Vesmar, what the hell?
So you can ask John. He spent a good amount of time painting that wall. I'm not sure if he's in a rush to paint it again.
Yeah, I know. But if we had it, we could do the weather.
What is a good amount of time?
We have a Canadian low
13
coming,
minutes?
not to get it confused with a Mexican high.
John, how long?
Too young. You guys are too young. That's George Carlin's best move. Right
I didn't even hear it. I'm sorry.
He goes, the weather hippy dippy weather guy.
Yeah.
He says we have a Canadian low, not to get confused with a Mexican high.
There you go.
Oh boy.
So Michigan has kind of got this little. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's early though.
Very early.
Is it?
It's 15% reporting.
Yeah, no, it's not even.
Hey, Kevin, you're impressed with little Patrick, aren't you?
Yes.
He's a freaking political nerd, man. He's in there like crunching numbers.
I love that about him.
He's in there and I tried to get him to go on there.
Hobby.
Dude, he's like a little yeah. He doesn't have a girlfriend, but he knows a lot about the Electoral College. Knows what's going on in the country ride.
He was like.
So what is his view about the Electoral College?
Oh no!
Dump it or keep it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wish we could ask him that. He's on the speech team. He should be able. He's got to be able to crank that out.
Yeah. He doesn't want to come on air.
I know.
We've asked him like 4 times so far since he's been here, and we're like,
he could be on air and off camera.
We can have him like call in.
Do the number.
There you go.
Yeah, have him call in. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Electoral college is tricky.
I
understand the logic behind it, right? You want people to campaign across the country.
Yeah.
You want to have, but at the same time, I don't know. It's
New Mexico is just called for Biden.
Well, Hillary won New Mexico.
Yeah.
So
Did she?
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
I'm waiting for confirmation because according to the Associated Press, it's been called for him, but there are no results listed yet, so they're waiting on numbers.
How far is Texas along in the count?
Right now, according to the Associated Press, it's at 57%, with Joe Biden leading at 49.6.
Wow.
Donald Trump is close behind 49.1.
When's the last time Texas went blue in a presidential race?
Very long time.
This is probably
That's very exciting.
Dude,
Clinton.
I'm trying to think. Did Obama must have won Texas, right?
No.
He did not.
No, he did not.
Definitely did not.
This had to be like
okay. You know what Indiana is?
or something.
Well, Indiana's last before they went for Obama in 08. And it was Lyndon Johnson.
So
1964.
what about the Susan Collins and Sarah Gideon race in Maine?
Well, Maine was going Republican.
Is
last
that
time,
House
right?
or Senate?
That's United States Senate.
Yeah.
These are all Senate races.
I'll pull it up.
She's tried to toe the line and be kind of middle of the road.
Susan Collins is leading with a 2% reporting.
And then, can you give me Tom Tillis and Cal Cunningham in North Carolina? Cunningham
Cal
leads.
Cunningham is leading with 78% reporing.
That is huge for Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama. That's huge. That's huge for Biden. And then, how about John Ossoff and David Perdue in Georgia?
Georgia. It says Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah, well, that's Kelly Loeffler. He's the incumbent against Raphael Warnock. Yeah. So all right. So Kelly, she's leading him by 0.8%, 0.8%, and then there's another United States Senate race.
Right.
I'll have to pull that one up because they have the most contentious race highlighted on this website here.
And that's going to be, it's basically like they call it a jungle primary, right? Because you have to get 50%. If you don't.
Correct. It's going to be a runoff. And that's what they're saying, that this, John Ossoff and David Perdue are probably going to have a runoff. What about Michigan? John James, the Republican, against Gary Peters in Michigan.
Sorry.
Michigan, John James, Gary Peters. Now, John James is an African-American running as a Republican.
John James is currently leading with 16% reporting.
I'm calling this guy. He's going to probably win this race.
Interesting.
He's a moderate, but he is a Republican, and this guy Gary Peters, I don't know, he just wasn't pulling his weight.
Mm-hmm.
How about Mark Kelly, Martha McSally in Arizona?
Well, I mean, I think the key to that, I'm back, by the way.
Arizona they haven't started.
No, they just closed 9 minutes ago. So that's, Arizona
we don't have
just
any
closed
results yet.
At 8.
Okay.
Are they 2 hours ahead of us or one? What are they at right now?
They're
Kev?
2
1 or
hours
2?
ahead, I think.
It's Colorado. How about Corey Gardner and John Hickenlooper?
Well, we know
Hickenlooper is leading
that.
with 32% reporting.
Yeah, that's great.
That'd be great. He was a former governor, right? 2 terms?
Yep.
Yeah. Denver opened up that nice beer place in downtown Denver, and then next thing you know, he was mayor, and then governor, and then he was now he's going to be senator.
Here it is. Okay, for Georgia, David Perdue is currently leading for a Senate seat, 57.7% over John Ossoff.
How much is in there?
Currently, they are reporting. It doesn't say because they have multiple races.
I can't figure out Georgia right now because I mean it was supposed to be tight, and even in if you can put the president back up, the president's winning big in Georgia right now too. And I'm trying to figure out whether Atlanta and Fulton County are in yet.
In Georgia, he's leading 57.1%.
He is, but there's only 30. The key there is you got only 35% of the vote in, so it's early.
Yeah, I don't think Atlanta is tallied.
Those collar counties around Atlanta aren't in, nor is Atlanta.
I'll tell you this: really, right now, what they're talking about in the national news is the surprise that's going on in Ohio and how the president is just lagging and continue to lag. Lindsey, if you could roll over Ohio, I think we're going to see some numbers here. Now we're at 59% in.
Joe leads 52.3%.
Yeah, it's 52 to 46 in Ohio. I was looking on CNN, and they've got the counties up, and most of the big counties are in.
That's 60% in, too.
Yeah, that's 60% in. So the president's going to have to really make, a run there to make things work. I can tell you this: if the map stays as is, and Biden gets Arizona, actually, if even given the president Texas. If Biden takes Arizona and North Carolina, it's over. No, it's over. Yeah. So, Vera?
What's the Cuyahoga County? Do we know if that's in for Ohio?
Yeah, it is in. Most of it is in, yes. That's Cleveland area, of course. Yeah. And that's in. So I did want to, before I forget, I didn't want to forget some of our friends that are friends of the show and otherwise regarding some numbers. And this is for folks that we all know and appreciate.
Actually, could we? Sorry, Kevin. Councilman, could you go to that mic and then Estrada? Yeah. Yeah. You're a little more soft-spoken, I've noticed, Councilman. So we're gonna get you on a hot mic.
Bill Emerson, 99,494 votes, unopposed. David Pastrick, 100,878. So I guess, David, you owe, or maybe Surveyor Emerson knows David Pastrick a drink, because in the unopposed races, he's got 100,000 votes, and Surveyor Emerson's got 99,494. So it's tight.
So Dave is beating him.
Dave's beating Emerson, yeah, if they were running against each other. But they're not, of course, and they probably never would. But it's good to hear that two of our friends of this show, David Pastrick's going to be our next coroner, and Bill Emerson's going to be, of course, our surveyor from now until who knows whenever he probably doesn't want to be, because he's been done such a great job. Just a reminder, top of the hour, I want to thank our sponsors of the special edition of Election Night on Left to Center podcast. Pinnacle Concrete, Shoop's Hamburgers, the Kyle Dempsey State Farm Insurance Agency, Region News Source, the Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, and Bob's Plastering and Painting. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks for showing up on Election Night. It's real important so we can keep this pod going. You can also, of course, don't forget to subscribe to us and rate us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube, and, of course, listen live on Facebook Live. We appreciate it. I'm in the house with Councilman William Godwin from Gary's, I should know this, First District.
First District, that's right.
I got it. That wasn't just a guess. Educated
first.
guess. Gary's First District, the Miller neighborhood and thereabouts in Gary. We've got, of course, Attorney Alfredo Estrada, great sponsor of the show, him and his firm, Burke Costanza and Carberry out in Maryville. And, of course, they got a location in Chicago for all your civil litigation and immigration needs attorney Alfredo Estrada, and
You
one of
the Spanish or not?
no, you better say it because it's so much.
Adelante con Alfredo.
Thank you. See, we need to record that so it's not embarrassing when I do it.
When I told the guys at the firm we're going to be sponsoring, they said, "Well, how are you going to get play over the other sponsors?" So I said, "I'm going to make Kevin speak Spanish."
Spanglish.
So they would
Spanglish.
say it and then talk about me for 2 more minutes
and it worked
afterwards. Yeah.
Hey,
so say it again.
Adelante con Alfredo.
Sounds so much better.
Can I-
so sexy.
Talking about
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we're talking about how to read things sexy tonight. It was Vera and now Alfredo.
all right, can I say it now that we're talking Spanish?
Yes.
Can I read the numbers off for the school board in East
Well, I
Chicago?
wanted to introduce who you are one more time.
All right.
One of the best political minds in Northwest Indiana, from one of the biggest
Thank
and
you.
best political families in
Oh,
Northwest
come on.
Indiana. The Pastrick family. We have Kevin Pastrick in the house.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you guys asking me to come here tonight.
Also, a little known, but Kevin and I were First Communion partners at Holy Ghost Church
There
on
you
First
go.
Street in the Harbor. So
Way back.
isn't that true? Isn't that true?
It was very true, and I was afraid to tell the priest because we had to go to confession, right?
I had no trouble. He was worried.
I was worried. I was worried.
How did they do it back then? When I did it was "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned."
That's
it.
That was this-
Same.
now it's different. Now it's totally different. My daughter just did first.
Forgive me,
communion.
Father, for I have sinned. It's been so and so times
Yeah,
since my
it's
last
been-
confession. I don't want to say how many decades, but it's been a while, Father, since my last
Does
confession.
the church crumble when you walk in? There's flames coming out the roof, Kevin.
That's every
when you
Sunday,
go?
Alfredo.
Is that
That's
right?
not, that's not just confession.
Okay.
All right, so I need to tell you, talking about Spanish, the only reason I say that is because I have the numbers for the school board election in East Chicago. So the top vote getter, it appears,
Here we go.
Chris Russell just sent this to me, is Hernandez Orange.
Yep. Similar to what we had from the county. So what else? What do you got second?
Second place, my man Jesse Gomez.
Wow.
Right now, okay.
With 997.
Okay. And I've got him
And-
at 10. I got him at 1,012 on the run
And
over here. so-
third place is Debbie Bologna's at 827.
Well, Kevin's
All right.
giving you today numbers.
Yeah, he's giving
Yeah.
us machine numbers. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So add those
Yeah.
in. See, I've got Patty Jo Gibson King over Debbie and Jesse right now, as far as Crown Point's concerned.
How
so
old
on
are
their
yours,
second
Kevin?
run. So I bet you any money, Alfredo, the numbers Kevin has need to be added to these because I bet
Yes.
those machines aren't from Wicker Park yet.
Yes.
So
Well, that's
So
interesting.
so Gibson King on the machine had 462.
all right, so add that to 1192.
462 to
Carry the
1192.
two, carry
Yeah.
the- then you divide it.
4, 5,
He's just
1654.
1654. Okay,
Yeah.
and then where do you at Jesse at?
Jesse, I had at 997.
plus 1,012. So
Wow.
take that. It's what 2009.
Nine, boom,
2009. How about that for some
2009.
quick math?
That's pretty good.
All right, what else we got? And then how about Deborah Bolanos?
Deborah Bolanos came in third place on the machine, and that was 827.
All right, so 827 on 1,008 is 1835. So there you have it. And then Vanessa Hernandez Orange is still in the lead, I take it.
It's
She had
1323.
plus 1315.
1315. So what you're telling me right now is it's Hernandez, Gomez,
Bolaños.
There it is right
Latinos
now.
up
Right
top.
now.
Yeah.
What this tells me is East Chicago votes day of, right? Because that's about 45%
Good point.
voter turnout today rather than early voting.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Absolutely
We used
right.
to always early vote, though.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Absentee.
They used to vote twice back in the day.
Well, they didn't have the in-person early then, though, in your dad. I mean, when's the first race? When was your dad elected first time?
As mayor in well, he won the primary, which is always the primary. It was 1971, sworn in 1972.
There you go, 71 to 72. Richard Nixon was our president.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought I saw a really good photo though of Bobby Kennedy and your dad.
Oh yeah,
when he was coming through in '68.
We have a lot of those. Yeah, I actually have one picture. It's great. I gave it to my sister. I have a bunch of pictures of my dad with all these great people, right? And my dad was in line at the Elks Club in East Chicago.
Great place.
And he's sitting there. He's standing there. He has his plate, and he's talking to Jackie Onassis.
Wow.
Jackie Kennedy.
Not a bad person to be
it was just the
talking to.
two of them, and they both they're getting their CBS, right?
Yeah.
The chicken, beef, and
Welcome to the
sausage.
region.
Yeah. I wanted to know if she
how many
ate the
times has
sauerkraut.
right, or how many times has she even been to a CBS dinner? Maybe, but if you're a Democrat, you got to go to those.
Well, that shows you, like, times have changed, right? The
Yep.
presidential candidates coming to East Chicago, hanging in the harbor.
Yeah.
Man, those... You know,
And-
we got Barack Obama in Highland. The
Well,
first time
we had
around,
Hillary in the Civic Center in 16,
That's
so that
right.
was good. We had Joe Biden at the Civic Center in 18,
I didn't
which
get
is pretty
invited to those,
cool.
Kevin.
No,
And in
yeah,
20,
yeah.
in 20, and in
You're always
2020,
welcome.
right now in 2020, we
Uh-huh.
couldn't get Woody Myers to come to Chicago.
No kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
that was a mistake, I
What-
think. You know, but we did get Bernie Sanders and Gary. And
Speaking,
he-
one of
12
my
people
favorite
showed
Gary
up.
historical political photos would have been like Mayor Hatcher with Sammy Davis Jr. and
Muhammad Ali.
That's cool.
on Broadway. You ever seen that picture?
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
cool
it's a
picture.
classic.
That is a class. And I think Rudy
Yeah.
plays in that picture.
You know what? There was a lot of great people there. In fact, I was talking to Jim Bennett. You should talk to Jim
Sure.
Bennett about that because he used to run that.
No kidding.
Yeah, during the day, he would run the whole thing, and Nipsey Russell was there. I mean, there were some great people there. You know,
Nipsey Russell, man, you don't hear his name much anymore, but he was a great.
He was a
great
classic,
star, man. If
wasn't
you
he?
grew up in the 70s and 80s, you knew Nipsey Russell.
Yeah.
All right. Any news? What do we got nationwide, John? Anything?
Me and Godwin over here like.
Anything to update? I know you guys are young, man.
gotta
That's
Google
why
it.
we're on
Google it.
you guys are on the young side of the table. We're on the old side of the
Experience.
table.
That's the experience side.
People are asking the Gary referendum. Is that called or are we
Way
still
up.
waiting?
What are you thinking,
It's way up.
Councilman?
I think
You
it's
gonna call it yet?
59.7 to 40.29.
You gonna call that?
19,128 votes. I think
Period.
it's done.
It's over.
Wow.
That's a lot of that's.
I just got a new run from county. Let me
Great
see
turnout.
what we got going on here.
Okay.
5940, 11,422 to 7706 in the referendum. I think that's almost a call. And by the way, this is with 171 precincts reporting, 162 precincts not reporting. Usually it's the North precinct, so the Gary, East Chicago's, Hammonds of the world that don't report early because you got to get those machines from Gary Airport and from Wicker Park out. Although they're improving that, by the way, because of something we instituted a couple years ago, which is they make several runs. So that's improving. Wow. We don't know where these precincts are not coming from, but we can tell you the precincts that are reporting, 171 of them. Let's get to the races that are important, at least in our area, and that's going to start with the state rep races. So Rep District 12, Mike Andrade continues his dominance of that, 12,862 to 8246 over Wichlinski. In the Hal Slager and Chris Chung race, it's starting to grow a little bit for former Representative Slager over the current representative and incumbent Chris Chung, 13,986 to 12,613. It's starting to be a race that it might be too tough for
Yeah, you gotta call that,
Representative Chung to get back 1,300 votes this late in the race. You know, we'll see what happens, but that's moving. The Lisa Beck Julie Olthoff race. Actually, this is a flip. Julie's now got the lead, 14,977 to 14,335.
Wow.
So
that's close.
That would be, if those two races go for Slager and Olthoff, that's a 2-seat pickup for the Republicans in the State House.
What was that?
Chris Chung is losing a little bit bigger to Hal Slager, and Lisa Beck is now losing to Julie Olthoff.
Wow.
With 48, it's 48-51 in the Beck-Olthoff race, 14,335 to 14,977. Just a reminder, there's a Porter County element to that race. We don't know the numbers there yet, although we're working on it.
But Kevin Pastrick, I would imagine the Porter County element is going to be more Republican than Democrat.
100%. So, you know, there were some big judgeships out in Porter County. Matt Soliday, they thought was going to come about against the Republican Mike Fish. Mike Fish beat him 63% to 36%.
Wow.
That was supposed to be, you know, Soliday was supposed to win that race.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Mitch Peters, who the Congressman
Democrat,
Congressman Visklowski came out and endorsed him on the front page.
Well, shit. I mean, damn.
That counts for 36
game
years.
over.
I didn't know he endorsed.
Yeah. Either did I. I mean, you know, it was crazy. So, but Mitch,
How's he doing in that race?
Mitch Peters, Mary DeBoer beat him 68 to 31%.
Wow.
68 to 31, and DeBoer is.
And she's the incumbent. Incumbent. She was hadn't run though.
No, yeah, she took over for Mary Harper.
Yeah.
So let's see what else is going on here. I'll tell you what's another big hit that is interesting is Deb Porter lost to Ed Soliday. Go figure, 69 to 30%, Tom.
Yeah, what about
big...
Commissioner Biggs?
Yeah, so
you looking for that race?
Yeah, I have it. I'm sorry, this is only 50% reporting in Porter County. So Ed Charbonneau's winning right now, 72 to 27% over Baum. Let's see, How about this? 50% in for Congress, Leyva, 60%, Mervan, 33%.
That's Porter County.
That's Porter County. This is all Porter County. Wines Apple, 31% to 68% Berkita.
That's Porter County.
Yeah. Holy cow. So Myers Lawson, 24%.
Wow.
Holcomb Crouch, 63%.
Let's go real quick through our sponsors. Just want to thank them again. Our sponsors today, Pinnacle Concrete, Shoop's Hamburgers, right on the Boulevard in Hammond.
Why don't you do the Pinnacle and I'll do the Shoop's?
We're just reading through them. We're just reading through our sponsors.
I just want to do Shoop's again.
Pinnacle Concrete, Shoop's.
I like their commercial.
Go ahead.
Fresh, never frozen, handcrafted and cooked to crispy perfection. A Shoop's hamburger spills out of the bun.
Yeah,
sounds
baby.
so sexy. I don't know. Throw in an order of fries, a shake, a bowl of homemade super chili, and you got yourself a night planned, baby.
Super chili or soup?
You and your mama and your chili.
And your super chili.
And your hamburger spilling out of the bun. Located at 7235 Indianapolis Boulevard.
Category.
Doesn't it? What's that?
That race.
What's that?
Wow. Nothing.
Kyle Dempsey State Farm Agency. Kyle Dempsey has 2 State Farm offices, one in Hammond,
53.
right next to the House of Pizza, and the other in Sherrville. His offices specialize in auto, home, life, and business insurance. Kyle could be reached at 219-845-1571.
Don't forget to check out Pinnacle Concrete, Region News Source, the Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, and Bob's Plastering and Painting.com.
Region News Source is the area's leading... What the heck?
All our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got? What's the update? Oh, I wanted to update this real quick. This is consistent with what Kevin calculated, and that's the East Chicago School Board race. Vanessa Hernandez-Orange leading, followed by Jesse Gomez, and then by Patty Jo Gibson-King are the numbers I've got right now, with Deborah Bolanos right behind, 1416 to 1379. So that's where we're at in that race. It's real tight for the second and third spot there.
Hey, Kevin, did you see your gift?
I did not.
This is your gift.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
You don't get it, though.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to give it to you personally.
You got that because I wore a shirt, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
It's about time.
Now
but I'm not going to show this to the camera because he still owes us a check.
Now you got a Yeti. You got a Yeti.
That's how that works.
Yeah,
Thank you, Redstone, Metropolitan Steel.
That's right.
This isn't as cool as a T-shirt, by the way. So, Red, I want you to know that, but I appreciate this. Thank you. Metropolitan Steel, Redstone, one of our favorites. Really good dude, and we appreciate your continued support.
What does he have to do? He got you a Yeti, a customized
I love
Yeti,
this, man. This is great.
And you're still like, that's not good enough.
I know, dude.
Jeez.
Yeah, is this a Yeti?
It's a Yeti.
Yeah.
It's a Yeti. It's big bucks.
Oh, speaking of not good enough.
Yeah, thank you. This
got
show
half
wouldn't
the
happen.
precincts
without-
reporting in LaPorte County. It seems to be that there's a lot of Republican activity over there in LaPorte County.
Really?
Oh, yes.
It's a red wave, baby.
It is a red wave over there. You got some longtime Democrats.
Cora's in a race, isn't he?
He's in a race, and it's countywide.
Dr. Cora is in a race?
Yeah, half the votes in. It's 50-50.
Wow.
You have Tim Stabos up on Lynn Spivak, which is odd. You have, again, all the Republicans are up slightly.
How much
Even on
of the
Joey
vote
Winsky.
in?
Half the vote.
Wow.
What about Julie Winsky?
She is down by a little bit. It's 49 point. She's down by 0.5.
What about Bergeson and Oss?
Yeah, that's a judge race out there.
Judge race.
I bet Bergeson
Oss was
losing.
winning. Well, the last time I checked. Let's get to the judges. Let me roll through these tabs.
Hey, Lindsey, make sure we get over the tab over here. Let me see where Ohio and Texas is real quick.
Dude, it's freaking hot as hell in this freaking room.
It's hot.
So
I had the air on and I must have turned it off.
Dude, it's like 1,000 freaking degrees in here.
I thought you told me to. Okay, listen to me. Okay, so 1 second though.
47,
You called me
52.
today. You called me today and said, "Hey,
went-
should I pick up that air
That's-
circulator?" I said, "Yeah, pick it up." He goes, "All right, I'm
Wait,
going to pick it
that's
up."
I did.
He arrives. I
I
said,
did.
"Did you bring the air circulator?"
0.6.
No, I never got it.
I went to Walmart. They
Well-
didn't have one. They just had heat.
But then you're first one to
Alright.
bitch about the
Freaking
heat.
pandemic.
If you ladies
It
are
is
done
hot.
arguing about the air, I opened the door,
Thank you.
Thanks,
and
Lindsey.
I'm going to give you an update. Currently, right now, Texas is in a dead heat.
Oh.
That's
Almost
good news.
equal tie.
What
it
about
just
Ohio?
flipped over into the Republicans' favor of Donald Trump by 0.6%.
Yep.
But that is only with 72% reporting.
Only.
Well, I
pretty
mean,
solid,
it's almost neck and neck.
I tell you what,
almost
that's
How
a
about
huge
Ohio?
victory. That's a huge victory for Joe Biden if he could like pull
Absolutely.
that out.
Oh wait,
That's
no, Joe Biden is
historic.
leading by 0.6% now. It was Trump earlier, but now it is
Thank you.
Joe Biden.
How about, can you go over Ohio?
Currently in Ohio, Joe Biden is winning by
Only 2%. No, it looks like it's by 1.3% right now. Or what is that? No,
That's
2.7%.
2.7
See, you
with what
corrected
in?
my math
You
last
can correct
Friday,
mine.
and I'm going to correct yours
That still was
Thank you.
60%.
60% reporting. Joe Biden, 50%.
What about Michigan?
0.7. Michigan. Let's go to Michigan.
Michigan right now, Donald Trump is leading by a significant amount, but only 18% of the votes are reported. And also the cool thing about the New York Times here is that they have charts. Florida has been flip-flopping all evening. So
I don't know how you
we'll
can't
see.
call Florida for
What
for
about
the
North
president.
Carolina? Ooh, North
Hey,
Carolina got
Colorado.
tight.
North
Colorado just
Carolina
called
is-
for Biden. Colorado just called for Biden.
Yeah, not
well,
surprising
that's not
though.
a surprise. They've got weed there, so.
Well, I'm just saying that was not
They
going
do
to
have
be
weed.
that wasn't a toss-up race. I mean, Colorado.
I heard that.
So that's interesting.
80% of North Carolina's in, and Biden's still winning by just
Yeah.
shy under 2%.
Yep.
Those guys better get to cheating over there in North Carolina.
Yeah.
If they wanna
That's
catch
not
up to
gonna-
Biden.
Yeah, let's hurry up here.
Kevin, one more time on that Beck race.
Yeah,
Was that-
sure.
What was the
The
number?
back.
Beck race. Actually, it was a little bit surprising that it flipped like that. But let me give that to you, John.
Olthoff was winning, right?
Yes,
Olthoff
slightly.
is now winning. So those numbers, John, for the Olthoff-Beck race are as follows. Let me get down there. For 48, I'm sorry, these are just the raw numbers. Lisa Beck, 14,335. Julie Olthoff, 14,977. And this, again, those numbers are with 171 precincts reporting out of 357. That's all the early vote and most of the vote by mail. Although, based on what I know on how the vote by mail goes in the county, not all that South County is counted yet. The only reason I say that is because, although I would say Crown Point probably is, they do it in alphabetical order because that's how they run them. So
Sure.
Cherville's not in yet, St. John's not in yet, Winfield's not in yet, Whiting's not done yet. But I would say probably everything through Munster and beyond might be already, including Crown Point and Center Township.
I got an update on the 5th District congressional race. If you can tell by the tone of my voice, it's not a great update. Christina Hale dropped with 68% of the vote significantly in this last round. She is down 19,000 votes to Victoria Sparks. But the good news out of that is Hamilton County is 84% in, which is a huge Republican area. Christina is losing that one, 55-41 in that county, and they're almost all counted. The good news for her, I don't know if there's enough there, but with 50% of the vote basically counted in Marion County, where Christina's doing 70-30, she's up 18,000 votes
All
there.
right, so basically we need to make that up in Marion County.
And she's down 19,000 votes. That's a scary thing.
It's going to be a tight race, and
I
we
don't
just
know.
got to hope Marion County comes through for her.
I don't know if it's possible. Because if you look at the breakdown right now in Marion County, it's 70-30. Right now with almost 50% of the vote in.
What's the
Christina's
total
got,
vote with 50% of the vote in?
31
In that
plus
county.
13 plus 1, so 45,000. And Christina's got a 18,000 vote lead with that many votes in. So if you doubled it,
Right.
she would have another 17,000.
And there's
gonna
still
be
a lot,
tight.
and there's
She's
still a
still
lot
gonna be
more
tight.
Hamilton County coming in.
Yeah,
There's
this is
15%
interesting.
of Hamilton County
I
coming
just got
in
an
still.
update from Indianapolis, and Jerry Torr, who's been a longtime legislator from Carmel, is losing by 100 votes to his Democratic challenger in Carmel. So that's
Is that the,
He pissed
is that the
somebody
Caddy
off.
Fedora? Is that that one?
Something
her name
happened with
is
him.
Ashley
he pissed
Klein.
somebody off.
Jerry
Like,
Torr?
Yeah,
You
something
know, I mean,
happened.
that doesn't freaking surprise me a goddamn.
No,
bit. Like, the guy is
he's an absolute, he's a
asshole.
yeah, well,
big time.
The insurance companies
I'll
love him.
say
Let
it.
me put it that way.
This is true.
Hey, you
loves-
wanna
I
hear
think it's
something?
off
Safe
of
to
the
assume
insurance
that-
I'll
companies.
say it.
That the Democrats
He's
are
an
gonna
asshole.
retain the 12th district at a minimum. I think Mike Andrade has got
Can't wait to
Michael
go to Indy.
Andrade, what's he up by
He
right
doesn't
now?
like
12,862
He doesn't like me
Yeah,
to
I get it. Say it.
8246. He's a winner.
Who is?
Mike Andrade.
Oh yeah, we called that.
That's what we call him.
called that in the first round.
You know what
yeah.
we call him? We call him Representative Andrade.
Yeah, that's
Matt.
right. Well,
That's right.
until 12 o'clock. You better make it.
Hey,
there.
hey, Tom,
Yes, sir.
He will.
how about this?
I hope so.
How about this?
This is look at these Porter County numbers. David Chittister,
Yeah.
Democratic chairman, he's running for District 4 Superior Judge. He only has 37%.
No, that's not. That's
a
Judge
different
Chittister.
Yeah, Judge Chittister, right.
Oh, David.
He's related.
But
Brother.
this Chittister was the one that
Not
No.
the Porter County chairman.
No, but they're related.
Yeah, they're related. But
Yeah,
the Porter County
okay.
chairman's an electrician.
But I
union.
think
Right,
I
right.
think that Congressman Visklowski endorsed David Chittister.
Could have been.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Buckley's
Yeah.
at this is only 32 of 123 precincts, but 62 to 37. Oh, you asked about Biggs, right?
Yep.
Biggs is winning with 70%.
He got
Becky
no
Matteo Lombardini only has 29%.
Yeah, he's got no problem.
Hey.
That's 70-30.
Yeah,
For
if
sure.
if he beat the other guy in the primary, he's gonna walk in the.
He's got no issue with that.
Hey, can Marissa relieve you there?
Absolutely.
Marissa's going to come in. She can't talk about political races or anything, but we could talk to her about.
Can we update on the presidency?
Yeah, we can update on the presidency.
Let's keep rolling here, Lindsey, with Ohio. Where are we?
We're going to bring Judge Marissa back
currently
in.
In Texas,
Not
Donald
back in,
Trump, it
in.
just flipped in his
Thanks,
favor
Kev.
again. He leads by
Thanks, Kev.
0.1%.
In Texas?
In Texas, it is literally the closest neck-and-neck race I've ever seen in my life. Biden officially has won D.C., which I think is hilarious because that is where the president lives.
That is where
Even
in
though
Ohio.
no
Big
Republican
deal.
president will ever win that, but
No.
okay.
That is where
But
the
still,
president
like the disrespect.
like, screw you, Trump!
He must be a bad neighbor.
In Ohio, Biden leads by 1.9%.
That's narrowing big time.
Pennsylvania, Joe Biden leads by a significant amount, but only with 19% of the vote reported.
Wisconsin's coming.
All right,
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
Biden leads by a little less than 3%, but that's only with 10% of the votes reported.
All right, so it's early.
So, I mean, the only thing we do know for sure is we're not going to know shit until tomorrow.
Yeah, what about
afternoon,
Florida?
probably.
Florida, do we have anything on Florida right now? Is it still at
see,
92%? Go over to Florida, Lindsey.
John's confused because my numbers are different than his because I am using the New York Times, but
93%. We got
Trump
51-48.
leads by 3% in
Can you go back to the AP?
John's using the Fox News
In the
app.
AP currently in Florida, see 91% reporting he still leads by less than 3%, but in Wisconsin, 18% reporting Donald Trump is leading by 9%.
There's your update.
there's your
Lockpod
update.
welcomes a new guest.
We can take that
right.
mask off
Marissa,
of there.
you have
Just
to go
feel
right
free
up
to-
on
The
Kevin.
Honorable Marissa
Why are these
McDermott.
earphones wet?
Don't worry about it.
Because of the wipes.
Because
It's
Kevin
okay.
has greasy
We
hair.
wipe it with COVID wipes.
My head's too small.
It's a new thing. It's called a COVID wipe. You just put it on there. and
Pastrick's
freaking-
greasy
It like
hair.
seeps
Alright.
right through.
This is my first time in the Batcave.
It's right.
Is it?
Welcome.
First time.
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, man.
Where's it? You leaving, Kev? Thank you.
Ooh, I got to get out of here, too. I got to get back to county. Good
Well,
time for me to
county.
take off.
Anyone
Who's
named Kevin
who's out
has
there
to
bouncing
leave
back
right
in?
now.
All right.
Hey, honey, how's it
Vera.
going?
Good. How are you?
Marissa, in
Yeah.
2 years, you're going to be able to be political again.
Well, not yet.
In a year and change.
That's right.
But you
That's
can't talk
right.
about anything that's going
So
on.
nothing that is
You're
said,
just walking around clueless today, not paying attention to the fact
nothing
there's an
that is
election.
said by me today can be considered an endorsement of any candidate.
Really?
No.
I don't know.
So you
Marissa
just
never
have to
has.
have your blinders on, which I can say a lot, though. That had to suck while you were running for Congress.
Yeah, it sucked
I'm
hard.
sure it did.
It did,
That'd
man.
be really
By the
rough.
way, and you were a huge asset for Mara, too.
Yeah, I
So, like, having your
tried.
spouse, and I was a huge asset for Marissa. And by the way,
He was a huge asset.
for Marissa when she ran, yeah, like I said. But, like, the thing
Marissa has been on for like 5 minutes and she's already contributed to
But,
the
like-
That was
curse
not a
counter.
cuss.
I'm
But-
That
counting
was
it.
not even.
But, you know, it did suck.
Yeah, that had to be terrible.
Well, it
Yeah.
sucked for me. I couldn't even have.
Fredo.
I'm not allowed to have a bumper sticker on my
Not
car.
even say anything about
But-
it. You're just
even
like,
even for my spouse.
By the way,
that's-
you know what's weird though, Matt? Going into this is I put yard signs in our yard, and I'm just waiting for the day she gets a complaint because that's half my yard. So we partitioned off. I own the half
This
that's
is
closest
your
to the
half?
street. Marissa has the half that's closest to the house.
Marissa has the
I
half
have
with the pool.
The sign free.
She has the backyard too. Marissa is, I have the half with the signs. That's right. Alfredo, how's it going, man?
Good. They're saying North Carolina early votes in, going Biden. As the time goes
Carolina.
on, it's going to
So
trend
wait,
towards
New
Trump.
York went for Biden? No.
What's that? They're saying it's going
It's
to
going to trend towards Trump.
Oh, so the early vote went.
Early
for
votes
Biden.
giving Biden a bump.
That's all?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, people in New York are notorious assholes.
See, that's just 8
And
times.
they don't put up with it. I mean, they just don't. They
Except
don't.
for our in-laws that are
The
listening right
Honorable
now.
Marissa
We love
McDermott
them.
is
Shit.
from New York.
You know where I'm from,
I
right, Matt?
100% know. They just don't put up with shit. They're like,
Well, that's
look, I'm
true.
not
That's just
putting
New
up
York
with it.
City.
And I'm
Everybody
looking
else
at
is
it.
very
So
nice.
you look at the thrashing Trump took in New York.
His
I
home
love
state.
it. It's
His home state.
fantastic. It can't be enough.
Well,
How
you
many
know,
percentage of the vote is
He
that?
had to
though?
run away to Florida.
It was he lost by 50%. What percentage is
him.
counted?
Only 18%.
Oh, that's
Still,
we'll
that's a
just
pretty
call
good-
it there. 50% loss.
Shit, by that time they already called Indiana.
Yeah.
It's
You're
like
right.
3% of the vote. Done.
Cuss
Holcomb.
counter just went up.
Yep.
It did.
Lindsey's
It's now
on
at
it.
32.
Lindsey's
I'm
like-
very excited about
She's
it.
sitting there with her finger on the damn button.
What's going
like,
on in
yeah.
Iowa? I mean,
There's nothing
No
reported
results.
yet in Iowa.
Because they got the weird Iowa caucus.
They have are they still caucusing for the primary?
I don't know.
Texas is about a dead heat.
Like 3 people live in Iowa.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it is crazy.
Hey, I went to school in
crazy.
Iowa and participated in the Iowa caucus. I was like, what are you people doing? It was a
Why don't you just have an election, for God's sake?
Caucuses are crazy.
Right, it's the 1800s?
Like, what? Jesus Christ, vote.
Seriously?
Are they similar to like a party caucus that we
Yeah.
experience in Lake County?
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's everybody lying.
Yeah.
So if there's 200 votes, there's like 500 different people if you count all the candidates together.
right.
Right?
Yeah, we're all with you.
We're all with you, and then they tell the
most of
next
them are
guy.
actually trying to get themselves voted in. It was
You know why
it
I
was
like a
interesting.
caucus, though? What I like about caucuses better is you could actually campaign during the caucus and affect it. Like, you can go out there and, like, persuade people to vote with you, like, on the spot, which is, you can't really do that.
Fluid.
Bad news in Ohio.
Yeah, Trump. It's now flipped that Trump is favored in Ohio and Texas right now.
Is it
But
pink because it's not
they've
locked?
Both been
It turns bright when it gets
okay,
locked?
so it turns solid red or blue when it's
Right,
locked and it's
gotcha.
been called. However,
Gotcha.
if it's light, that
Trending.
means that
Right.
results are still coming in.
Georgia's on CNN. They have
47%
Georgia going up pretty bad.
Yeah,
for Trump.
for Trump, right. Yeah, it looked pretty
which was
red.
disappointing because I thought Georgia would come up.
Florida is up. Trump
91
is leading 51.
That's over, dude. Oh, it's
Yeah.
51. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
no, that's 91 reporting, but 51% voted for
But
Donald
that's
Trump.
over. If there's 91%, then he ain't gonna make that up.
But in Texas, Trump is only leading by 0.7. It's very close. Ohio, Donald Trump is leading by 0.5%, still incredibly close. Michigan, Donald Trump is leading by 17 points.
Wow, that's surprising to me. That's early. That has to be early.
Yeah.
That's 20% reporting, but I'm not sure if that
Let's give
includes
it some
Detroit
time in
or
Michigan.
not. So
I'm gonna hold
Depends
out.
where.
Christina Hale's down 18,000 votes right now, almost exactly. But she's still like Marion County. It looks like they're playing games. Marion County's only got 50% of the vote reported.
Good.
And Hamilton County's got 84. Yeah, they're playing games, and it's probably not giving Christina. It's probably giving her Ajita, but they theoretically could put
when
her
you
over
say
the top.
playing games, you like they're sitting on numbers.
They
you think?
obviously are.
it's
They're
like
only
mayor
50%
fight all
counted.
over again.
They're
Why
like
would they do
50%
that?
counted.
Why would they sit on numbers?
Because they have the big ones. But like at a certain point, if you're doing math, like I was doing earlier, like with 51% of the vote and 52% of the vote in, Christina is up 18,000 votes in Marion. Okay, so if you double that, give her another 18,000 votes. Right now, she's losing by 18,000 votes. So like theoretically, she could still do it. So I don't think they're calling it right now, but it's definitely heart failure time.
18,000 votes in a district is hard to get.
But she's winning. That's the thing though, because in Marion they've only got 52% of the vote in, and she's winning 70-30 there. So like if they double it and she stays at 70-30, theoretically,
And she was 75-25 earlier with Marion
Yeah.
County, right?
True.
So she
True.
can pull that.
hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of the states that are blue, which ones were Trump states last go around? Do you guys know?
John,
Kansas,
yeah, you're right.
Missouri.
Probably right.
Missouri was close last time.
Was
though.
Colorado Trump last time? I imagine it
Definitely
was. Right?
not.
No.
Really?
Yeah, they were all high.
I don't.
Because
I-
Trump, the Colorado is a state that goes back and forth. They have Republican senators and stuff.
They do.
Right.
Minnesota is surprising to me, but that's to me.
By the way,
Minnesota?
my dad came into Lockpod and guaranteed the audience that Trump is going to win Minnesota. Right, John?
Yes, he did.
He was like, "I will bet you $1,000, Trump." Like
He also said it'd be a landslide
That's
for Trump.
20%.
That's
too,
right. That's right.
reporting.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my dad. My dad said the Cubs are going to win World Series this year.
I
too,
say that
for the
every year
record.
too, so I'm with him.
Well, he was right one year, so.
2016.
26.
It was magical.
But in
Yeah,
the
that
last
Minnesota,
time Trump,
I don't know how magical it was. For the Cubs, it was.
it was magical.
Yeah.
That
at
intel,
23%
yeah.
reporting in Minnesota, Joe Biden leads by 33%. So
Where's that?
it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's a significant lead.
Yes, it
Pennsylvania
is.
is also looking pretty nice. Also,
So right
for
now,
Biden.
what I'm looking at the map here, North Carolina needs to stay blue, and we need Arizona, and we got the map we need.
Marissa, what do you think about it? Can you talk about that?
I cannot endorse.
Right,
any
but like when you and I
position.
go to Arizona, what's your general feeling about the people we talk to about presidential choice? Because we get to go there. My dad's got a place out there.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I always feel like an outcast when I tell him I'm a Democrat.
Is that right?
Yeah,
man.
it seems like a fairly conservative.
It's like the
place.
kind of. It
Yeah.
reminds me of Indiana in a lot of ways. It's all about don't mess with my gun, like government, get out of my like that's the thing about Arizona. It's like my gut tells me that's not a good state for the president.
Do you
But
just
they have a
taunt
big.
them
But you know
Senate.
that-
about- do you
that
taunt
Senate
them
race-
about water? You
But-
should.
Yeah, right.
But that
You
Senate,
should pack them
Alright.
some from
You should.
like
Hammock
buck
Casella.
90, buck 90 for 1,000 gallons. They would take that deal, Matt Reardon. They would be all over that shit. So
I'm trying to get a word in edgewise here, Matt.
really,
I know.
What I was going to say is that Senate race in Arizona, that's going to have
Mark Kelly.
that's going to have an impact that
I agree.
you don't have on a normal, year.
And they were saying Mark Kelly, he's the husband of Gabby Giffords, the congresswoman that was almost assassinated.
Yeah.
He's her husband, and he was an astronaut for NASA.
And she's a pilot, McSally, so it's astronaut versus pilot. I mean, there's a lot of excitement.
The astronaut's the Republican.
Yeah. No, the astronaut's a Democrat.
Mark
Kelly,
yeah.
Yeah. Astronaut's a Democrat. He's big on gun control, obviously. His wife got shot in the face by somebody trying to kill her. That sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
You get into politics for that?
Yeah, that'll mess up your day for sure.
Yeah, for
Those
sure.
people raised an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing. How...
What's the number on a Senate race?
Was that a pun?
No.
Astronomical.
that was unintended. That was very good, actually.
You should have
Just
claimed
go with
that
it.
one.
Astronomical.
Astronomical, maybe. But an astronomical, I mean, and raising money sucks. As I think we all can attest to. But
well, not me. I haven't ran.
It sucks.
Being asked for money sucks too.
You're
dodging those phone calls.
That sucks more than raising it.
Like what? No, I didn't get that message.
McDermott's calling. Click.
I'm on both sides of that.
If you're getting a call from a politician during elections, they're not calling to touch base.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I must have got. It's pretty funny.
How many excuses have you used not to donate, though? I mean, I've gotten pretty.
I usually, honestly, I'm pretty easy.
Are you?
I'm good for $1,000 almost.
Is that right?
You're going to say that on the air?
No,
that's terrible.
No,
that's terrible.
If it makes sense, Alfredo, if it makes sense, like Jonathan running for AG, he calls me up, I'm easy. I'm not going to and then like Christina running in Congress, I donate a couple grand to her.
I'm pretty particular.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of person that's going to call you back?
Yeah.
That's important, right?
Yeah. I'm on everybody's
Are they going to
ticket.
take the money and run?
A lot of them do.
You're an easy
They ghost
mark.
you afterwards.
You're an easy
And then you're like,
mark.
no, that's kind of rude.
That's not how I roll up. I'm a loyal, I'm like a NASCAR driver. I know who donates to my campaign.
Well, yeah, I know you're loyal. I know you tell it to I remember the first story I had with Tom was I was running the Lake County Young Democrats, and we were down in Indianapolis, and I was running Register the Region for them. And I'll go, hey, Tom, Mayor, I need your help with this. And he goes, well, ask the chairman. He says, I can't help you. I was like, well, at least I know where he stands.
Yeah, that was at the time. It was a tough time, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
At the time, the chairman and I weren't getting along.
I didn't waste my time asking Mayor Tom anymore either.
Alfredo and I have known each other for a while, and we're happy to be working on the same team now, which is nice.
Yeah, we were then too. We just
same team Democrat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you have family fights, though, right?
Yeah, it's
that's the interesting thing.
Weird.
About an area like the region with one party in control is you'll have these little. Everybody's like, oh, you're Democrats. You must all get along. You're
we hate each other.
That's right.
And then you go to town,
worse.
city to city. It's
That's
even
right.
worse.
That's right.
You know?
It's freaking pretty brutal.
And you don't want to speak out because they know them, but this guy hates this guy. And you're like, man.
How about this? When a statewide candidate comes to the region and they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they meet with the wrong person, they've closed 50 doors before they even made one step forward. Oh shit, he's meeting with this person. Well, screw that guy.
I just spent some time meeting with so and so. You'd be like, really?
Well, fuck you, right? Oh yeah, go fuck yourself.
That's 3.
Hit the bricks.
We got 3 more.
Right. Reardon and I'll freaking jack up the cows. That's right.
The more the show goes on.
The cuss counter.
So
I don't think I've added to that.
You should.
No, I can't.
Kevin added to it last week. Dropped an F-bomb.
Did he?
His mom listens every week too. I'm
Wow.
like, dude, I know.
He went right for the mother.
See, honestly, that's what slowed me down a little bit.
So
Mrs.
I'm
Smith.
serious. I still cannot figure out why.
She's your
people-
conscience?
Mrs. Smith. Yeah, dude. She called. She was like, "You're such
I
a
don't
nice
understand.
boy.
How dare you?
Right? You don't want to be doing this." People,
We just talked about confession earlier.
That's
I guess
right.
you're gonna have to go.
I know, man.
So
St. John Bosco.
Did anyone here vote today?
I did.
No.
You did?
Yes.
I did.
Mara, Christian, and Victoria walked in.
No line?
No, there was no line.
Wow.
There was no
You can
line.
thank all the early voters for the no line.
What time did you go?
3 o'clock.
Okay, well,
In
that's
the
a smart
morning.
time.
No line.
I voted for dead people
nobody.
today. Does that count?
Only if it was in East Chicago.
They all voted for Biden. though. That's all that matters.
No, we walked right in. So it was
right.
it was great. It was like, here you go, right on, and thanked all those people that worked the polls. It's like, thanks, appreciate it.
You don't have to do that anymore. Mara's not running anymore.
Yeah, I
you
know,
don't have
but
to do
that's
that
the
shit
kinda guy
anymore,
I am,
bro.
you know? It's like,
Good
thanks
for
a
you.
lot.
I always thank people.
You never know. You never
Yeah.
know when I'm going to be running or what it's.
That's
for.
right.
You never
That's
know.
Right. Matt Reardon.
I was a precinct committee person for 12 years, and I had to give it up when I became judge, but I really loved watching people come and vote. And you just feel like this is democracy at work. This is what it's all about. These little tiny precincts all over Lake County, all over the state, all over the country, and it's happening. You know, you see it happening. No, really, it's like you're tired at the end of the day, but you feel like you put in a good day's work towards democracy. Tom's singing.
That's why I do
snacks.
I'm election deputy commissioner every year. I do that and get to like put out fires and things like that. Sometimes you get really crazy people, but same thought. It's like I get to contribute. I wouldn't want to work a poll.
Where's the craziest place you do elections? I know my answer. It's easy.
Why are you laughing,
It's
John?
the craziest in Chicago.
I always laugh.
Without a
John goes
shot.
right to the
Yeah, I remember
Chicago's not even close to that.
when they had a referendum, their school referendum. I was election deputy commissioner, and there was one polling place in the bottom of the ground level of a senior citizen building. And it was a terrible place to have a polling place, right? It was like their common area, so people were in and out. They were electioneering inside, so I go out, get called up. Hey guys, you can't electioneer. You can't talk about yes or no. You know, you can't do this. And the person running the campaign's like, "What are you going to do?" I was like, "Well, I just did it," you know. And then 5 minutes later, you get the call. I was like, "They're back at it again."
Dude,
I was there for.
They'll
12
be out
hours.
in the middle of the street with like megaphones there.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. Like East Chicago. And
it's old school electioneering.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like and then Gary's different. It's not as loud as East Chicago, but like the polls in Gary is super crowded.
Yeah, they got the buttons, they got the
Dude,
signs.
everybody.
It's
You'll
really
have 50
crazy.
people to walk through before you even get
Which is cool.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
really
it's real cool. But like,
Yeah.
I like Gary the way they do it better in East Chicago because East Chicago is like a little scary sometimes.
East Chicago's
Sometimes-
East Chicago's a sign counting city, right?
Colorado, good news. John Hickenlooper's a winner, probably.
I like that guy.
That's one Senate seat down.
I like that guy.
3 to go.
Yep. Former
From
mayor of
Colorado.
Denver, right? Former mayor of Denver.
Governor Hickenlooper. Yeah,
He was mayor at first, all right?
He was mayor, then governor.
Yeah, I always follow my mayors.
Then he was all about the weed and unlock that cash.
I think that's a rap
cow
song,
out in
isn't
California.
it? All about the weed.
If it isn't, it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
It should be.
Jay-Z, I think it was.
We got to play. So how much longer till Indiana does it then?
The federal government will do it, and then we'll have to.
You think so?
We'll probably sue the federal government after they pass it.
Rakita's not doing that.
Hell no.
Right.
Rakita's not going to join that. There's no amicus brief on behalf of Indiana for Rakita on that lawsuit, guys.
Yeah, we'll file a lawsuit, fight it, and then not
we'll be the one state that's trying to buzzkill the rest.
And then it'll be.
I didn't know this stat either.
Sundays at noon, you could buy
it.
Yeah, right. Sundays at noon.
We'll start Sundays only.
You can't buy a car though, but you can buy a weed and a Roman candle. So
I heard Indiana's one of 6 states that still allows for straight ticket voting. That's
one of
still
6.
A thing. One of 6. The other ones don't. You got to.
But if you straight ticket vote, you still have to go in and do the school board elections, right? I mean, don't you?
I'm
still
not
have
sure.
To go
I've
through
never
that?
actually straight ticket voted in my life, so
I would
wouldn't know what
imagine they're
happens.
non-political, right? They're apolitical.
Right.
Same with referendums. You have to go get.
But
So
I
you still
also
have to
think
go
if
through the ballot.
you just hit that button and you don't care anymore,
You're
You can
done.
walk out.
You can just walk
Yeah.
out and hit.
But you
not
miss so
vote
many
for anything.
races, yeah.
And that's why you have a Bill Emerson and Bill Emerson and then Pastrick for coroner having different totals,
right?
Because people are skipping certain races,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly. I was like, nah. I mean,
I generally am a D
Mm-hmm.
voter, but I still like to go through the ticket, go
Right.
through the whole and impress it. And
see, I'm generally an R voter, but
Yeah.
I still go
I'm
through
sorry.
the ticket.
Mhm.
Well, I had a lot of good candidates to choose from this time around. Not at the top of the ticket.
There's some.
But I had other good candidates to choose from, and I was happy to vote for.
Good for you.
Bez, what do you got, Bez?
Some national stuff going on.
Uh-oh.
Texas, Trump's ahead. This is from the AP. Trump's ahead by 2%, 70% reporting.
Wow.
I have 76. He's still leading.
And then Ohio, Trump's up by 2, 75% reporting.
Uh-oh. Biden's up by 2.
Biden.
Trump.
We're looking at it.
I'm looking at the AP.
Okay, what are we looking at?
You're looking at fake news.
Oh, okay. Well, then
What
forget
you
it.
guys,
the Fox News
What you
thing?
guys are looking at
for
is
Christ's
the
sake.
New York Times. So these are 2 reliable sources that are getting different information.
What?
Right now, I currently have Ohio at 64% leading by 0.3%.
Lindsey, can you just go on Facebook and get real news, please?
Oh yeah, obviously. Let's go on Facebook and ask
There's gotta
my
be some
grandmother
updates
who's
I can
winning
give
where.
everybody.
Get the high school dropouts who are scientists now to give us.
I'm
going
gonna need to go on the What's Going On in Hammond, Indiana Facebook page, and they're gonna tell me who won.
Sure they are. So this is the NY Times, and
This
got
is the New
Fox
York
News
Times.
back there.
Oh no, it's Associated Press. Yeah. So what do you guys? At some point, Lindsay, you switched to New York Times, like midstream.
Because Kevin Pastrick walked
So
in and he
Hickenlooper
had
wins
accurate
in
information, so I
Colorado.
went to
like
go find
that's a big
some.
deal, I think. That was one seat.
Well, yeah, we got Colorado, we got New Mexico, we got Illinois, we got New Hampshire, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, D.C., Connecticut, Rhode Island, you know, the whole eastern seaboard. But right now, Texas and Florida.
Maine, what's up with Maine?
Maine is Canada.
What's going on up there?
Have you ever been to Maine?
No.
Okay.
There's 15 fucking people up there.
Maine
don't
is
count.
Canada.
Wow.
That's on there when you enter.
We should really
Maine,
just
Maine
give
is
them to
Canada.
Newfoundland and just call it a day.
I mean, what? I mean, who lives up there? Why? And how many?
Well, my former college roommate lives up there, and
From
that's
Maine?
it.
Okay,
That's
that's
just
that's
her.
one person.
Oh, and Stephen King. That's it.
Two.
Yeah.
Wine's Apple's verse just got formalized.
Did it?
Formalized.
We just received word that Jonathan Winesapple for Attorney General is officially lost to Todd Rokita of Munster. So that race is official. Just wanted to update the audience.
Update.
What we got, Vera? You got any local?
Just a couple of local things.
There's a question on Facebook if we had any update on the School City Hammond Board results. So if you guys want
That I
to
don't
search
have.
for those.
We don't have updated results from the last go around. Let me see. You got Hammond School Board at large. We have 50% of the people reporting. We have Lisa McMillan Miller, Lucinda Cindy Murphy, and Wilma E. Reed are the top three vote getters at this
good.
time. With 50% of the vote coming out of Lake County. I wish I could tell you I knew what 50% were, but it sounds like that's a lot of votes in a non-mayoral election year with not much shit going on in Hammond voting territory. to
They're
have that
very
many
serious
votes.
about their school board. In here.
Everybody really is,
Yeah.
but that's a lot of votes.
It's a hot ticket now with those referendums going around.
Right.
And then there's been a lot of change, a lot of consolidation with schools.
And I think the
people are noticing.
coronavirus too, the handling by
Yeah.
the schools of the coronavirus really got a lot of people interested in what the schools are doing, and
Right.
you know.
Well, plus, the referendums I think is really key because people are a little concerned about their tax rates. And but I do have a couple of local races. I got Highland, which kind of interesting numbers. Biden 2255. Now remember, these are just machines today. 2255 and Trump 3151.
In Highland.
In Highland, and
Highland's
that's
changed.
with that's with Jorgensen getting 132. Myers got 19, and Holcomb got 3112 and Rainwater got 386. So he got some traction. That Rainwater, he's been getting some votes everywhere. Winesapple got 2278 and Rokita 2961. Mervan 2829 in Highland. Leyva 2477.
Really? Let's see what we have here.
Michael
Any updates?
Strauss.
These are the same.
174.
That Beck Altoff race is pretty tight. I don't know what.
Still,
what's
but are you
in.
still at 50% on that?
Yeah, but I don't know where it came from, and that seems to be about the right kind of votes. And I don't have Porter.
Well, and that one too,
We
you
need
got
Porter-
some Porter
we need
County.
Porter
Yeah,
County
there's like
votes.
I
9
don't
precincts in
have
Porter
that.
County.
I
That
just
generally
have Lake
decides
County.
it, right?
Seems to, as of late. That's always a key little node in that district. Hal Slager is up 800, 900 votes on Chris Chung, but again, I don't know. I wish I could tell you which precincts and how it would work, but I don't have it, and that kind of sucks. What? Really? Getting some news that we may actually, the Senate might be flipped to Democrat. That's hard for me to believe and say, but that would be something.
Well, if we have a Senate,
Yay.
a Democrat Senate, Democrat House with a Trump
Yay.
presidency, how fun would that be, Rudy?
Yay.
Right?
Can you disclose your source?
I can't.
Okay.
I
But
can't.
it's a good
But
source.
it's a highly reliable source. That's
Okay.
coming at me, and they're doing some sorting and trying to figure this out. But yeah, that's what they're saying, which is interesting. I'm not. I can't say I'm completely surprised by that at all.
Besmar?
I am surprised by that. Yeah.
I am not. I think there's people that I tell you what. I think there's plenty of people out there that think Trump needs to have handlers and guidance. And I also think that there's plenty of people that think that the best way to do that would be to have the Democrat House and Senate deal with him. I think actually, if you really look at where Bill Clinton started and where he ended up and what happened to Bill Clinton, he had to deal with that situation. And that guy had to negotiate everything. And I think everybody was reasonably pleased with how the economy ended up. We ended up balancing our budget. And that all had to do with you had Bill Clinton, the Democrat, and you had 2 Republican House and Senate. So there's something to be said
some check and balance,
for some balance when it actually works. You know, when you have the GOP in the Senate not doing fuck all about any of these bills that come their way, and Mitch McConnell sitting there, I mean, the poster child for term limits, who's calling the shots. I mean, I'm incensed that hillbilly from Kentucky is calling the shots. I really am. It's a donor state. I mean, this is a recipient state. They get in way more money than they put in. That shit's got to stop.
I think so. If we do have a Democrat House, and a Republican president with Trump, you're not going to see the Clinton years of negotiation. You're going to see an uptick in executive orders and circumventing.
You're going to try all that,
that's
right?
That's all you're going to get.
It's going to be a race to the courthouse, and then the House and Senate are going to react accordingly. Be like, really, Matt, we're going to sue you.
There's nothing that's going to be done in Congress if we have a Democrat Congress and Trump as president.
So what'll also happen
nothing's going to change.
Well, all the outstanding lawsuits will go away. They'll be like, yep, we're not going to fund that anymore. So you're done. So your lawsuit against Obamacare is gone. So you're not going to fuck with existing.
How many vetoes will we have?
How is he? Anyone and all could be overridden. Right. And I think that if Trump manages to hang on, you're just still going to have. I mean, how happy would you be if you're a GOP sitting there going, well, that was a great night. Mm-hmm. The only asshole who won was Trump, and he was out for himself. And we were told that, but we didn't want to listen, and we didn't care about or for his coattails. And so, I mean,
well, he destroyed the party for the benefit of himself, and then the loss is the Senate. Yeah,
and they let him. Well, I guess you made your bed, you lie in it at that juncture.
But,
right?
I mean, executive orders, they're not legislation, so what good is that going to do?
Well, ask Trump. He has the most ever. I mean, what he does is it's going to spur litigation, and then hopefully
it's a race to the courthouse. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do this. Well, no, you can't because it's against the law, and that's a function of Congress, and you can't do that.
Nothing's going to happen.
And he's going to keep, if anybody has, I shouldn't say anybody, my observations of how Trump manages situations is he will force people to do something or make a decision. It's a pretty common tactic.
And he just forces them.
Will force you to do something, uncomfortable or otherwise. He will force you to do it, and that permeates his business style. That permeates his personality, and when you know or encounter people like that in the business world, you know what their bag is, and it's like, look, I know what you want me to do. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to diffuse your asinine idea. So at the end of it, you're the one who's going to back off. I don't have to make a decision. But if you continue to allow somebody like that, they will force you to make a decision. I'm going to force you to do something about Black Lives Matter because I don't care. So you do something about it. All you governors, and then assign blame to somebody else. I mean, it's a tactic that obviously worked with a lot of GOP representatives and senators, and they just went along with it. But hey,
Matt, Paul Goddard's asking if you could run through Munster School Board one more time.
Oh, okay. Hey, Paul, what's up? What up, Paul? We have 47% of the precincts voting. Again, I don't know where they are. I assume this is a lot of votes for Munster. But bear with me a moment. I'm trying to find them on this, my favorites, and I'm having a hard time because you got pressure on me. So Munster School Board.
While he looks for that, if anybody wants some real good entertainment, go to your local school board meeting recently, and you'll. I mean, it's like the interviews with. You remember WWF, and they used to have interviews in between matches with Mean Gene Okerlund. It's kind of like that going on in public comment.
That's awesome.
Hey guys.
John Castro, 4257. John Doherty, 4210. Ingrid Schwartzwolf, 3986. Virginia Jenny Glickman, Dickman Lopez, 3535, and Cameron Martin, 3388. That was a solid group of
that breaks
candidates.
my heart. Yeah.
Solid
We
group
worked
of
hard.
candidates.
Hey guys, I think we're gonna start wrapping up our show here. I just want to say thank you to. I don't know if we're gonna have a free country when we get done with this podcast or not.
Yeah.
Like, right now, honestly, I think
What's
the general.
up?
I was in the other room. I'm feeling like Trump is gaining more and more.
Check
Well,
this
we
out.
just got information that Arizona's 60% reporting, and he is killing it by 13%.
Biden is.
Biden.
Okay.
Yeah, Biden.
That's good.
That is great,
Well, if he holds that in North Carolina, that's his pathway.
for
Yeah.
sure.
But I just, by the way, I think our first election night coverage was hugely successful. I want to thank all of our guests, of course, Alfredo Estrada. You want to talk a little bit about your firm real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're the leading law firm in Northwest Indiana, Burke, Costanza, and Carberry. General practice, anything but major criminal. It's a great firm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, you do great work.
I appreciate it.
Especially in regards to immigration. That's sort of your specialty, right?
Yeah, it's my specialty. Happy to work with the city of
Yeah,
Hammond and
we're
have a
happy
legal
too.
aid in that. And, kudos to you and the city of Hammond. You're probably one of the, I'll say it, the only city in Indiana helping immigrants with legal
Thank you.
services, and probably one of the only in the country, really. So
We're
it's
just
really,
getting started, Alfredo.
really progressive.
You've done a great job,
thoughts. I
and you've
appreciate
already
it.
had results, and we appreciate it.
absolutely.
Matt Reardon, go ahead and...
MCR Partners, well, we're the greatest economic development firm in the county.
Only the
How about
county.
that?
County.
Only the county.
The state.
Yeah.
the greatest. It's
The
magnificent.
greatest.
The
It's
country?
magnificent. Give me
That's
my
right.
Trump head.
It's the best.
We're the best ever. We do the coolest shit.
Nobody's even a close
Nobody
second.
even close. We do data centers and
By the way,
parks.
you are helping us on the data center. You and I and Tom Dockett. He was one
Oh
of the,
man, that's we're getting.
He's one
There's
of the
some
first.
cool shit that's gonna happen. Cooler
know,
shit
I know.
than the data center.
You're telling me. And by the way, you guys are saying I can't keep a secret. I've had that
you
one.
are doing a fantastic
Thank you.
job.
He's
I've
about
had
to
that
let
one
go
under
of
my
it, though.
goddamn
What is
hat
it?
for like
No,
a
it's a
month.
secret.
Dude.
There's
It's
some
big.
cool
Really?
shit afoot.
You can't
There's
believe
some
this,
cooler
Alfredo.
shit afoot.
That is badass, isn't it?
Yep.
I know.
Awesome. So
Matt,
we're cranking through
have
there.
I said a damn word?
Nope. Nobody
Thank
knows.
you. Lindsey was talking shit to me earlier, saying I can't keep a secret.
No one knows anything about it.
That's
It's-
right, Lindsey. You
it's-
want me? Wait till I bust this one out.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's a
You
pretty
can
tight
keep work
sewing circle.
secrets.
But we do economic development.
I think she just slammed you.
She did.
We do economic development throughout northern Indiana and southern Illinois. I avoid Cook County. It's just I don't want to pay the tithe or brown bag it over there, so I don't do business.
Brown bag it.
Nope.
Good for you.
Not good for me. I don't
There's
play
no
that
brown
game.
bags in Hammond.
I'm not your company for you.
Dude,
I'm sure you'll
honestly,
find some people.
Honestly, Matt, like, I'd never want to even take a chance on going to prison, doing anything like that. It's just not worth it. Can you imagine, like, me being in a freaking small ass? That just doesn't work. So
Listen, I had an experience with a municipality in southern Illinois, and let me just tell you, I'm surprised the FBI is not involved yet.
Well,
I was just like, what?
Wow.
It was so over the top crazy. I was just like, wow. But anyway, yeah, we don't put up with that shit. We just find
Good
good
for you,
places
man.
for people to do projects. So
you do great work, and I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
We
You've
bust
done
ass.
you've done a lot of projects in the city of Hammond. We appreciate it. They're great.
Yep.
Vera. Love Vera Mileusnic. She was my right arm when I was
thank you.
when I was chairman of the party.
Yeah.
She's Marissa's right arm in Lake County Circuit Court, and she's always got the thing about having Vera in here. She's always got her thumb on the pulse of politics, right,
Well,
Vera?
and the pulse is something.
You do, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, yeah, kind of like to stay in touch, and yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. We've been
Yeah.
doing this for a long time.
My first radio
I'm
show
happy.
was Vera was my co-host,
Yep.
so it's nice to see her
Yep.
across the table from me, even though we were all masked. Well,
Well,
we should,
Most
yeah,
of us.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, John Vesmar, thank you.
Thanks, John.
All the graphics you see, all the work, John Vesmar did that, and he does a great job for us.
Happy
Right.
to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you're the coolest Trump guy I know outside of my
Oh,
dad.
Jesus.
That means a lot to me.
You are. I mean, it's really like it's being like the tallest short guy, but like
That's generally me, Tom.
you're the best, Vez. You are. And I hope your guy loses tonight, and I hope you cry. But other
I
than that,
won't cry, I promise you. I won't.
Yeah, there's no crying, and there's no looting, and there's no robbing.
Yeah.
And, you know,
No.
the fact that somebody thought it would be a great idea to go out and buy 80,000 rounds of ammo.
I saw that.
Why?
he's calling.
What up?
It sold out like immediately.
It's off.
Yeah.
Did you call him?
Why?
Is he going to...
Hey, no shooting stuff up. Nobody
He
needs
might be
that.
downstairs.
Keep your guns holstered and
Agreed.
stay your ass at home. I don't
Yeah,
care who
dude. Can you
wins
imagine?
what.
Honestly, if there's any shit like that tonight, I mean, nobody's messing around.
This is when you get the old skull cracking going on. Send the police out.
It's not going to happen. We'll be fine.
I hope not.
I
We'll
agree.
be fine. It's not going to happen.
I mean, seriously, we have to have more respect for property, for people's businesses.
People,
like-
property, and life. Let's
Yeah.
give that a try. Let's start that out in November 4. Huh?
But I appreciate all of the viewers. By the way, if you liked what you saw today, Left of Center, you could subscribe on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Facebook, YouTube. You know, there's many ways to watch the show. We appreciate.
MySpace. You're on
What's
MySpace?
That? Are we on MySpace? I don't think so. John, are we?
Is there a
No?
MySpace still?
There MySpace?
We're
Yeah.
on MySpace, yeah.
Ha ha ha. Making fun of my technical ineptitudes. Glad you guys are having
I'm
fun
on
with
AOL.
this.
That's Tom on
By the way,
AOL.com.
I still have a stupid Yahoo
Hey,
email.
hey, that's my account. AOL.
Hey, Yahoo, do you still have AOL?
I do.
That's
There's
some old
like
school
4
shit.
people that have those.
I still have my Nextel number, cell
Do
phone
you?
number. Yeah,
Oh.
Same
that's
number?
old, old school. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That was me.
We're
We
still
did that.
using dial-up internet here at Smith Sersic. I'm surprised the stream stayed up so long.
But, hey, anyway, everybody,
Wow,
it's
you
been.
got more than one screen open and 2 computers and video. Shit.
Yeah.
It's high tech here.
I appreciate all of our guests. Jerry Davich, who came by, great guy. Kevin Pastrick, awesome guest. William Godwin from the city of Gary, thank you so much. All the people that called in to help us with our results. Like, we had
Yep.
people constantly feeding us with the latest news. Thank you so much to everybody. Lindsey McDermott, again, congratulations, sweetie. What's the matter?
Oh.
You look like you had official business.
Our Representative Mike Andrade is going to give us a call currently.
Oh, good for Mike. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, have him call
he
in.
wants to gloat or
Good. We'll glow with him.
celebrate.
We'll do it real quick. Is he calling in now?
He's going to call into our studio phone number. In
Well, damn.
just a
We were like
second.
signing off.
I
so
know.
like now we got to.
Come on in.
And now we
Yeah.
have a brand new politician calling.
By the way, Matt, when does Mara actually not become state rep anymore? Is that now?
11:59, right?
Yeah.
It's tonight.
Midnight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yep,
crazy.
that's it.
By the way, while we're on the line, I want to say congratulations and thank you to Mara Reardon for doing
thanks, man. She'll
for doing a
appreciate
great job as Hammond and Munster and Griffith and Highlands state rep.
Oh, yeah.
She was tough as freaking nails. I love that about Mara when she was our state rep. She did a good job representing our city. And
Yep.
great run, Mara, and great job passing it off to our next state rep who is on the line, Lindsey.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. Mike Andrade, congratulations, Representative.
I know. That's why I have to be there tomorrow at 2 p.m. for me.
There you go. There you go. He's already
You
got
are live.
business.
Don't say anything.
Congratulations, Representative.
He's already making appointments for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mike, you're on the air.
I hope he doesn't say something dumb.
Miguel.
Yeah.
He's like, screw Tom McDermott. I got to talk to him.
I'm out with that jackass.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
shit. Hey, Mayor. How's it going? Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
Hello.
I cannot hear anybody. Hello.
Hey, what's up? Congratulations.
Thank you. I found out that you guys were ready to log off, so I figure I'll keep you guys on the air for a couple more minutes.
Sure. Congratulations, Representative. We're looking forward to going down and watch you be sworn in and represent us here in Northwest Indiana.
Thank you. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, the final numbers are not in, but they're looking really good. And since Left and Center has declared my race, I just want to say thank you to everybody that supported me since day one. Thank you to everybody that trusted me in the 12th district and casted their votes today for me. It's a high honor. I'm very humble, and I'm going to continue to work hard. I actually got to be driving down to Indy tomorrow for a meeting already, and there's no days off in this. I started in this journey knowing that it was going to be a long journey, but at the end of the day, it's always belief.
You're the best,
Hard
man.
work pays off.
You worked your ass off, and that's why you won, Mike Andrade. And, being on Left of Center 2 times certainly didn't help or didn't hurt you at all.
Yeah.
And we did declare your race, and I think it was official at that point. Left of Center has declared you the winner. So regardless of what happens, you won, according to us.
Doesn't matter.
That's right.
Thank you. And Mayor Tom, thank you always for your support since day one. You've always said, Mike, you're going to win. You're a winner. You're working hard.
I did.
Keep working. And those words have always resonated throughout my campaign. So, Mayor Tom, thank you for your friendship.
Yeah,
thank
the
you
best,
for your
man.
support.
You're the best,
Thank
bud.
you for believing in me. And thank you to everybody out in the 12th District, my wife, my family, our campaign committee, our volunteers, my neighbors, everybody that worked really hard because this was a team effort. It wasn't just Mike Andrade. We had a team. Today we had 25 volunteers working those precinct posts. And we had several other people driving around passing food and water to all the volunteers. and I am humble and very grateful to have the support, and we're going to continue to work hard.
Congratulations, my friend.
Hey, pal, you think you worked hard? Wait till tomorrow.
Get
Real
your ass
work
down,
starts,
Indy.
pal.
That's right.
You got a shit
that
ton of
Matt
stuff to
Reardon
do.
being negative
I got a
again?
long list for you. It's all the shit Mara wouldn't do. I'm going to give it to you. Congratulations, Mike.
All right. We're going to wrap up our show. We want to say thanks again and congratulations to Mike Andrade. Again, thanks to everybody who worked so hard to make election night a reality. Thanks to our great guests and everybody who worked so hard. Again, Left to Center. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Watch us on Facebook Live. Listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, or MySpace. I heard we're getting something going there, too.
I'll start it up.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Left to Center. I'll see you guys on Friday morning.